On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick will throw some new Hot Toys reveals at you while also discussing the possibility of Diamond Select getting into the Star Wars license. After the toy hubbub, they'll give their impressions and any review critiques of Star Wars Squadrons, which Matt is calling the best VR game ever made. They'll then get into an interesting post from Disney Plus Germany, which may have finally confirmed 2 Mando actors for Season 2. Then it'll be time for the fan segment, which has a new question of the week this week, in addition to a brand new segment for Star Wars artists in which Matt will provide a true critique of their work, just like he does with his own shots. So watch out! And don't forget about this week's Top 5 Star Wars Fan Artist Features of the Week, which will also be discussed in episode 131. Cue the music. Now, everybody, let's make sure to turn on Nick's mic this week. We are back. I think
I'm here.
All right.
My mic is on.
The board operator is not drunk this week. He's got Nick live, hopefully. I see it. I can see his mic going up and down. We've got the chat is back right in the back end of the live streaming system on YouTube. So I'm not going to have a pity party to open this week's show, which means we're going to have some fun. We're here to have some fun, to talk about the Star Wars. And we've got some interesting stuff to talk about, more opinion-based stuff this week than usual. I mean, last week was a mega toy show. It was so mega that I even got sick of talking about toys.
Yeah.
Right? I sometimes I think Nick he has like a body double. It's kind of like Weekend at Nicky's, where we go too long on the toy stuff. He just plops that double down and he works it like a puppet. Like it just moves the head up and down like, yeah, I'm listening. Sure, sounds good, guys, and your fucking toys. Can we please get on to some Star Wars speculation?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tune out. I let my body double take the seat. You guys don't see me get up during the show.
He's good at this shit. Like he's a magician.
Clever editing. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, I gotta like turn the brain off at some point and just be like,
it was wrong. I'm not gonna lie, man. I feel like 130, which was our last episode, could have been one of our worst episodes of the year, if not of the Star Wars Time Show rebirth in 2018. The fandos, the assholes, they all said they had a good time, but that's just because they like us.
That's because they don't want us to like jump off of a building or anything.
Right. But outside of that,
yeah, it was great.
I didn't like it. I even started apologizing for the show at the end of last show. And I usually don't start doing that until we're offline, this, that, and the other thing. I see someone needs an Instagram code. So either Nick is trying to hack into our Instagram or someone else is. Is it you?
I tried to log on to my Instagram and then the whole app just crashed and it logged me out of both of my accounts. That's what happened.
Well, let me send you this code here so you can use that. Hold on, we're doing some live troubleshooting.
Just leave it for now because I don't even know how to get in. I don't even remember the fucking anything. I don't remember the password. I don't remember the
well, either way, I sent
stuff.
you the secret code in our super secret Slack setup. So check that out.
That's fucking Facebook for you. The shit just crashes for no reason.
Big Amish is up in the house. What is going on, my friends? So yeah, we're here. We're going to talk some Squadrons. Both Nick and I have been playing it for at least I have it since Saturday. Had a long session last night. Actually put up my video review of the game's VR mode and campaign right before the show. That's why we're so fucking late. Not that we are ever on time, but this week in particular, it was one of those Matt Star Wars OCD weeks where I just had this burning desire I've got to get this content out before other shit that I need to do today, which in turn delayed the start of the show. But like I said, it's not like our dumbasses ever start on time or tell anyone when we're going to start on time. So it really doesn't fucking matter in the end, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But we're here now. We're going to talk Squadrons. We're going to talk some new toys, as you can see up on the screen. If you are on the live stream, this is where all the cool kids come, or the kids that blow off work, or the kids that don't have jobs. We love them all. They're here to hang out with us. There probably will be a point in time when Nick is working again where we'll have to do these closer to a primetime slot, so hopefully we don't lose our international fans. But
honestly,
who the
fuck knows with me? I may never get a job again.
We should just start doing GoFundMe's for Nick, right?
I may need them.
Nick, pretend you broke your arm or something. And we'll write a sad
I'll come
story.
up here next week. It's just both my arms are in casts. I'm just like this. It's okay.
Yeah,
guys.
Get Taylor to put you in a mock full body cast. Throw up the GoFundMe. Make it really sappy and sad. Maybe tell him one of your pets died in the accident. And let's try to get you some cash so you don't have to work, and we can just start doing these in the middle of the day for the rest of Star Wars Time Show's life.
I hope so. I mean, that would be ideal for me because fuck, I was never a person that liked work to start with.
There you go. There you go. I mean, one could say what we're doing is work, but it's not when we're sitting here having a good time talking about Star Wars. So what we've been doing lately, at least on the live stream, is just kind of shooting shit before we get into our topics. Unfortunately, this week, most of my shooting the shit is about Squadrons, so I'm going to reserve that and save it for the actual Squadrons segment. Just like random life stuff. Still loving Legos, Nick. Still loving Legos. Look what I found, though. Look, we talked about this a few weeks back. Let me reach down to my bag of tricks. Walmart came through with the 501st Legion Clone Trooper set. This is the one that literally sold out on lego.com immediately, and that's because, Nick, it has wonderful little minifigures. We're talking the 501 Boys in Blue plus a 501 Jet Trooper, so that showed up. But this is the holy grail. Wait till you guys see this. I know we're in black and white. It is what it is. I paid for him so he'd get here early, but he showed up. Mr. Din Djarin himself, Hot Toys, not full Beskar Mando, which, quite frankly, Nick, as I'm holding it right now like a little baby in my arms, look at it if you're watching. Aw, I love you, Din. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy. No, but in all seriousness, this right now, I think this is probably my 11th or 12th Hot Toys figure.
Wow.
This guy right here, hands down, the new number one.
Your favorite. This
is a fucking beautiful Barbie for Star Wars fans. Absolutely exquisite. Every detail is perfect, from all the cloth, from the weathering on the armor, the posability, the accessories, the details, and the cape. I mean, just a fantastic looking figure.
I mean, that's why you pay $200-$300.
Yeah,
for
no
these
shit.
buddies.
Yeah, old Architect Customs, who's become kind of a big fan of ours and has started communicating through us through DMs, which it's how it happens. We are kind of like a drug. We somehow hook you in, and then you start communicating with us in our DMs, and before you know it, you become a super fan of this nonsense. But he was talking about 1/6 shooters right here in the chat now. He too is fawning over this figure, which he got today. I'd assume anyone that ordered through Sideshow and you've paid your payments should be getting him this week. Mine showed up yesterday, but I'm telling you, dude. And you're right. You made a valid point. I mean, that's what I was going to say with OAC. He was like, man, he looks great. I said, well, they fucking should. For $250, they should come out of the box and make us drool. If not, want to, wheel one off real quick. But this guy in particular, I don't know what it is. I'm sure Trevor could articulate it more because he has way more of these than I do. It's just a damn fine looking figure. I really have nothing to complain about it. I really don't.
Well made.
Because best of all, I'll be getting the full Beskar version whenever I pay that one off and they ship it. So I'm going to have both of Din's that I wanted anyways. But man, I for the money, yes, it should look this way, but I really think Hot Toys upped their game on the first Din to come out in the 1/6 scale. So that's really all I had for you. I in terms of like family shit to watch, I'm going to throw out a recommendation there because I'm a huge fan of Bautista. But I finally got to watch My Spy on Amazon Prime. It's just like a silly PG-13 kind of comedy he does with a little girl. I don't know, it was a fun movie, a fun kind of family movie to watch, even though it was clocked in at PG-13. I knew it was entertaining because the little one paid attention to it and didn't start just spinning out and doing her usual end of night kind of it's like I don't know what happens to kids. It's like they get shot up with cocaine late at night and they just go bonkers. So,
Daddy, I'm bored.
Exactly, like just spinning around like a top. So I mean, that's pretty much what I got into from the last time we saw you. I've completed the Lego NES, at least the console and controller version. That was a fun build as well. But not much. Like I said, a lot of the last shit I want to talk about is Star Wars Squadrons, in particular the VR mode, which fucking A, dude. Fucking A. I told Nick,
we'll get to it.
We'll get to it, but I told Nick before we went live, if I had engineering skills, I'd be crafting a cardboard box structure in my front yard and start advertising for a new theme park ride at my house for fans of Star Wars to feel what it's like to sit in the cockpit of Rebel/New Republic fighters and Imperial fighters, because holy shit, this is what VR was made for. This is pod racing, as Anakin likes to say. So we'll get there. Nick, anything? I mean, what would you get into between now and the last show and now? Anything interesting? Did your lightsaber show up? Did you fight Amazon? Did your house fall apart? I mean, fill us in.
Nothing so far. So I just so no lightsabers will be coming for me. My lightsabers are done. I'm not spending any more money on lightsabers at this moment, mostly because, I don't trust Amazon for pre-orders anymore, and I don't really need to be spending money on that. But yeah, I mean, for me, really, the only big thing is Squadrons drop. My thoughts and opinions on those, which I will.
It's going to be fun. There's your tease, people. If you are interested in our Squadrons talk, the tease, we're not going to agree that much on certain things, and it's not a fair comparison because he doesn't have the VR, so it'll be interesting. Yeah,
so that'll be a fun talk, and then. Yeah, man, not much else in terms of the land of Nick and what's going on now. I don't know. Our president had COVID, and I don't know what the fuck is going on with this world.
He's a superhero, man. He's already out of the hospital, taking mask off, breathing it, going on rides with Secret Service. Not to get into politics here, but it just, this episode, it didn't shock me at all. The way it's going to end won't shock me, and the way the base has responded to it doesn't shock me. They're running with, now the story is Joe Biden's a pussy because he's never gotten it, and Trump has, so he clearly knows how to deal with COVID unlike anyone else. So
yeah. So
welcome to America, aka the Bizarro land.
All of the people who are hoping from a positive outcome from this, one, why would you ever think that something involving this man would be positive? And two, of course you were wrong. Nothing is ever positive with with Trump involved. So there we go. So that's not too much happening in the life of Nick right now.
All right, well, then let's shift gears and get right into those topics. As you can see on the screen, if you are in the live stream, if you're not, we try to at least give you the postcast shell that links out to all the articles here for you that we're going to talk about. And we got one for you Funko Pop fans out there. I used to be a Funko-er. These days, I am in the process of trying to get rid of all my Funkos, and it's been going well. I'm holding on to the Star Wars ones for the time being. But a lot of the Marvel, DC, and just randos are being bought for well over the usual $10 price point for Funkos. So who fucking knew, right? Sometimes there is value in these stupid ass things we collect, but if you're still into the Funko Pop line, in particular the Star Wars waves, I'm not gonna lie, Nick, these are kind of neat.
They're cute.
That is a great way to talk about Funko Pops. I didn't want to say it that way because I didn't want to be called a pussy or anything. But what we got last week, and this has been going on for a few months now. the what they call this, Nick, the Battle of Echo Base series. So all year long this has been a celebration of Empire. It's its 40th anniversary. It was all for my 40th birthday. I mean, we at Lucasfilm, myself, my representatives, we all got together and kind of planned out this year and how we could honor our existence.
Both Matt and
exactly.
ESB.
I mean, you'll notice I didn't get included in the Battle at Echo Base sets that Funko is putting out to honor Empire, but whatever. The deal fell through. It is what it is. But we got the final reveal. So what's so different about these pops? Nick is asking himself. Well, I think for the first time, at least in Star Wars, these kind of interconnect to create a scene. And the scene is the Battle at Echo Base. Yep. And there were 6 total. 4 are already out there. These are all Amazon exclusives. But we got the last reveal. And really the reason I'm talking about is because it's my boy. The last reveal for this 6-piece set is a Vader and a Snowtrooper with an E-Web, just like they were in the movie. So these are all out there. They're now available. The last 2 being Leia and Vader are pre-order only, but they will be shipping in November and December respectively. So if you're still Funkoing, they're out there. We've got a link for you. We'd love for you to use because it may or may not be an affiliate link. So if you still buy this shit, go ahead and hit it from StarWarsTime.net. All right?
Yes,
that'll at least swing us at least 10 cents.
Yeah. I mean, they look pretty cool. I like the Chewie because they did have this. They built him with like this windswept snow in his fur look, and I think that's really unique. Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm a big fan.
It's hard for me to get up for Funkos, which is odd because 3-4 years ago, I would have been sitting here like blowing myself over these things, killing myself to get the pre-orders. I mean, I've shifted a lot of that into the figures these days, but they've almost fully lost their appeal on me at this point in time. Yeah, it's Star Wars, so yeah, I'm still kind of just drawn to the Star Wars aesthetic, but I'm also just looking at these like, that's from a bygone era for me in my collecting. It really is. Like, I'm just so far beyond the chibi look, which was my thing. I mean, I was chibi even before Funko. I'm chibi myself. I've got kind of a little fat head and a short body. I don't know, man. I don't know if it was burnout or, like I said before, with homeboy Brian Mariotti just going balls deep into every fucking license on the planet, pop culture, be it capitalism, it doesn't matter. There is a Funko Pop for it. I just can't really get excited for these anymore. But I still want to share them with other collectors, which is why we're talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, for the little amount of money that they cost, like you mentioned, just, $10-15 or something like that. I always looked at them as good desk mates, desk companions, if you will. But I just I don't know. Do you want to spend $70 on this? My cat is just all over the screen right now and everything.
Well, does your cat have worms coming out of her asshole? Because mine does.
No, she is
like anyone. If you've ever had a pet that got worms, it's a very interesting sight to behold when you can see live worms escaping from their rectums. Like, hey, I mean, they're literally out there flopping around like, hey, what's up? I've made it all the way through the intestines, the colon, and now I am coming out the sphincter. My life is complete. Actually, I would think a worm coming out the asshole is like, oh shit, I fucked up. I hung on to the turd too long, right?
Too far.
Oh my God, it's fucking gross. I just need to light my house on fire with these 2 cats we brought in from the wild. We got fleas out the ass, worms every other month. They both produce more urine and shit than I've ever seen any animals produce in my life. But they're starting to grow on me, as most animals do. All right, dude, so kind of moving on, sticking with the toy stuff. What the fuck, StarWarsTime.net? Get your shit together. What in the hell is going on with this post? Anyways.
Mine looks good. I don't maybe hit a refresh on it.
Holy hell. I mean, it's like parallaxing for no reason, but that is how our site functions in Safari. Safari. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what it is. It's been 9 years since Mr. Jobs has passed away. But Apple, yeah, they're still the most profitable tech company in the world. They're $1 trillion company. But their shit is like Microsoft level vomit these days.
I think it's, yeah. I mean, right now, Apple is definitely just sliding on by on its name. They haven't really done anything.
And I'm a fan.
impress.
I mean, call me a Kool-Aid drinker, whatever you want to do. I know what works, and I know what you have to spend time troubleshooting, and I rarely spend time troubleshooting Apple devices. But in terms of what made Apple famous, the innovations, the creativity, the imagination, that shit is dead. Dead. And they've just gotten lazy with software. I mean, I remember you get a new Apple OS and be like, your whole fucking computer was new. Now it's like, okay, what's not going to work? It's very Windows-esque these days. And the browser itself, like, I don't know what my fucking mental problem is with still using Safari.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the deal with that?
This is a me problem, my friend, so don't be like me. If you use something that fucking breaks every day, don't use it. Don't use it! I'm a fucking jerk off. Like, that is picture perfect jerk off behavior. I can't tell you why I do it, dude. I can't tell you why. I think it's because it's the 10 years of running Entertainment Boot every day. It was always in Safari, so I have like a tab flow. Yeah. It's probably just another one of my Matt OCD problems. I need to go find Tony Soprano's shrink, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm very tangent filled today. I've talked about worms coming out of cat asses and now Apple not quite being Apple anymore. But anyways, on to our next topic here, and it is toys again, the expensive kind, the kind I just showed you, the big boy and big girl toys. And that is, and this was typical Star Wars Time Show fashion. I believe this was announced after our show last week. We kind of had a hint that one of these figures was coming from Hot Toys when we talked about the 1/6 scale Ahsoka live action version based on her appearance in the Clone Wars. We did see some hints of Maul in those shots of Ahsoka, and now we got the final confirmation here. Here is Maul himself in 1/6 scale form with an appearance based on the final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars. Hey, Papa joined up. What's up, buddy? So Nick, I guess, I mean, you know me and Maul. When I saw this, I was like, fucking A, this is going to be my third 1/6 scale Maul.
Yeah.
You also know the toy community and how fucking fickle and picky they are, especially with glamour shots. I have seen some talk out there that this is a yucky Maul.
A yucky Maul? Is it because it's like his face? Like his...
Yeah, I think the bitching point is on the face sculpt. I'm not so sure. If someone's in here that does not like this Maul, let us know what is burning your ass about him. But
I mean, he does have a chubby face, which I will say is probably not exactly. Okay.
Yeah, there's 1/6. Hey, 1/6. Expand upon that. Like what? It's the sculpt. Okay, Pop is passing on it too. So those are two big Maul fans. Like, we know they love Maul, but they're both passing on this.
I'll say this: like, when I look at his face looks more like the face of Maul and Solo did, because it was Ray Park, and Ray Park is a little bit puffier now. So, and I think that this face is not
okay.
Really...
So Nick, you, without even being a toy expert, hit on what the experts are saying in the live stream here. So let me read it for those of you that listen on audio. But according to 1/6 Shooter, who obviously the dude's name is 1/6 Shooter, this is his shit.
Professional.
I would say Trevor has, and correct me if I'm wrong, 100 1/6 scale figures, if not more. At least over 50, I would imagine. But apparently, and this makes sense now based on what Nick was saying, they're reusing the Solo head sculpt. So it's exactly what you were saying. And I guess that does kind of make him a little funky, because at this point in time, it shouldn't have been the Solo Maul. It should have still been TPM-ish Maul, unless they're going with the fact that all of his years in the pit and the suffering have just aged him so much that fuck it, he's Solo Maul at this point.
It's just like his face is too thick. Like he was so slender and slim in the final 4 episodes of the Clone Wars that there's no way that he looked like that. So I mean, that was the first thing that I noticed when I looked at it. I was like, oh, he's looking like Chubby Maul in this, which is not exactly.
I mean, I'll give you my 2 cents. I mean, big surprise. I'm gonna fucking pre-order him. I'm a jerk off. I like after last week's show and looking at my new toy table and all the shit I haven't fucking touched and adding up the money. I need to get better at just like, oh, it's new, I need it, I'm buying it. That shit has got to stop. This year was an outlier with all the bullshit, not taking vacations, getting a $2,000 fucking COVID credit. I was getting fast and loose with the cash. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I got crazy this year, especially with the fucking 1/6 scale stuff, like nutty. So I've committed. I'm not getting the SHF. Heavy. I'm not getting the SHF armorer. Fuck it. You got to stop, Matt. You got to stop. I've been trying to cancel some other shit that I've had with Japanese retailers, and they're giving me a hard time, so I may be stuck with it anyways. But when it comes to Maul, I'm getting them. All right, so I am getting this guy. To me, the first thing that was slightly off-putting is the full costume. And this is going to sound really weird. Okay. I do not like the color scheme. I do not like, and I'm pulling up this shot here where he's like kind of in a pose with his saber, but I don't like that purplish gray looking under tunic with the dark black, the no shirt with just the leather straps over top of it. Like, so to me, again, this sounds ridiculous. We're talking about fucking Barbies here, but the costume did not look appealing to me.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Color-wise, like, I don't know, the color just seems off. Like, fuck, Maul, just wear black pants, bro.
Yeah, I don't know why you're whipping brown pants for no reason, honestly. Like, come on, guy. But yeah, I mean, in my opinion, the standout thing from this whole set is the sarcophagus, and we haven't gotten to that.
I mean, I got it up now. This obviously, if you watch the Clone Wars, we saw them put Maul into one of these space wizard sarcophaguses that the Mandalorians created to control the space wizards during the Mandalorian Jedi Wars. We got our boy Tars on there, I believe, all that fun stuff. But yeah, his box is going to be this, and I don't think it's going to be an actual steel tin. It's probably still going to be cardboard. It's not going to matter though, because for photography, if you light it the right way and use atmosphere, this, that, and the other thing, I've seen people turn literally cardboard containers that look sort of like a fake ass Millennium Falcon into the Millennium Falcon's drop bridge. So I think this could definitely offer up some fun shots. But back to the Maul and just kind of what's going on in the chat here. Definitely going to pre-order him. I mean, he's like a year or 2 out. So like I was telling Bossajan in our DMs, it's not even real money at this point. You can do the layaway and just pay, the $20 reserve fee and forget about it. And then, 8 months down the road, you'll look at your Discover card and be like, holy fuck, I spent $1,000 this month on what? And then you'll see CKO, Sideshow Toys, blah, 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 blah. All these $60, $70 flexible payment charges. But I guess just to wrap Maul before we move on to the next new hot toy is, I think everyone is right in their critique. It's just, do you have the power to say no? I do not. Maul has become, as I said, I think my number 2 character. I'm getting them all. I'm getting the Solo Maul. I've got the TPM Maul. You got to get the Clone Wars Maul. Right, Trevor? Yeah. You've got to get it. You got to complete the set. Put it out of your head. Retooled or not, they're going to fix it. You know you need it. You know you need it. Okay, I'll leave you at that. So I didn't have pricing at the time of this. I was off. I think this guy's going to be about $240. Of course, I didn't come back here and put the pricing in. I'm never going to do that, even though I say I'm going to do it on every cast and in every post. It's just not going to happen. But I know for a fact, if you're in the States, you can get him and the next guy we're going to talk about, which is the Coruscant Guard. You can get them both for under $500. Isn't that a deal?
Whoa, look at that. Oh my God.
Trevor keeps saying pass. He's going to get it. He's going to get it. As soon as someone gets it and takes a great shot, he's going to be like, fuck.
He's like, God damn it. I got to do it now.
I got to get you to buy something, Trevor, because I'm starting to feel itchy about that Sentinel you tricked me into. So I got to like kind of pass the buck to you.
Yeah.
I still have not gone in on the Razor Crest HasLab yet. I've got time. Wow. And I am going to do that one because, that, like I said, that's a fucking art piece. Anyway, so in addition to the mall from the Clone Wars, I'm guessing this is going to be the final entry in this surprise live action The Clone Wars Hot Toy set that we got here, and that is a Coruscant Guard. They kind of look like modern day shock troopers. I always thought they were called shock troopers, but I guess I'm an idiot.
Yes, they're just Coruscant Guards.
Coruscant Guards.
What a
these are the dudes.
name.
Yeah, these are the dudes that rolled with Palp to Mustafar to scoop up Anakin's bloodied ass. We did see him in the Clone Wars. They're the ones that were escorting Maul's sarcophagus. And yeah, that's why we're getting them in Hot Toys format. But these guys, again, it's hard to fuck up a clone at this scale, right, Nick?
Yeah, it's just like, just change the paint color.
Yeah,
like
and they look fucking, they look awesome.
Yeah.
I think anything we can all agree on from the prequels is that the clones are the best part. Yeah. The clones are fucking fantastic. Obviously bolstered through the Clone Wars where we got actual personalities versus just literally Cody, Gree, and who else? Bly. And Gree and Bly were really just like, yes, sir, bang, bang, bang. You know, you don't really get shit. So yeah, this is another definite ad for me just because now I'll have the Rex, I'll have this guy, I'll have the Ahsoka, I'll have the Maul. You can see the trend, my friends. I just said I wasn't going to get caught up in this shit again, but I essentially am going to have the Clone Wars motherfucking wave.
Caught up.
Because don't forget, they also released an Anakin Clone Wars live action and an Obi-Wan Clone Wars live action and a Cody. It's getting crazy, but I didn't get to Cody. Fuck that shit. So
yeah.
But these guys, man, I mean, like I said, hard to fuck up a clone. They're going to look great with that sarcophagus. I mean, obviously the product shots, they did that on purpose. I'm not saying
dude, that sarcophagus looks good, especially with them escorting it.
Fuck yeah.
I doubt that there's really a red light in there that lights up and lets you see Maul, but if there was, that'd be fucking
even
sick
better.
too.
You never know. I mean, sometimes Hot Toys goes to that level of detail. I can tell you I will not be buying 4 of these guys. So you're not going to see any shots like this. And, you know, it's me. You're probably not going to see any shots of these guys at all. Because these days I literally am crippled. And it's sad to see in our Discord, I think young Liam has caught my disease. Tones is getting the disease now. I don't know if toy photography is just kind of wearing itself out or what, but it seems my nonsense is spreading to other Star Wars Time Show fans.
I think you gotta, like, you're infecting them.
Right.
You're
Don't be me. Buy your
say
toys.
that with any hobby, I mean, regardless of what it is, everybody knows this who has hobbies. You know, if it's gaming or if it's playing, you know, sports or something like that, eventually if you do it too much, like if you do it to the point to where you're like doing it every day and like you get to the point where you're like Matt and it becomes a job, then it just loses its appeal to you.
Yeah.
You know, like even something as simple as playing video games. If you play video games 4-6 hours a day, then you're going to lose interest in it pretty quickly. And that's what happened with Matt and I when we were gaming all the time. Like we got to a point where it's just like, I don't give a fuck. It's like, whatever. Yeah, that looks cool. I'll buy it. The game will sit on my shelf and I'll never play it. So
yeah,
for those of you who are feeling the burnout, give yourself a month off, 2 months off, relax. Don't even buy a new toy. Because
see that Nick, that is the hard part. That is the hard part because in our world, if you miss a buy, you've missed out. That's where the FOMO comes in. I mean, a lot of the hardcore people in here, they're going for the hard to get shit, the shit you got to get, you got to overpay for. So it's hard to not only think about, hey, I'm not going to get sucked into the IG sickness of got to get into the toy pops. But then you also got to deal with, I'm going to miss out on this or that exclusive. Oh my God, it becomes too much and we shut down and we spend all our money and then we take no toy shots. So it is what it is. Man.
You just gotta be able to step away for a little bit.
Yeah, even 1-6 is feeling it. He's saying here he's blaming it on the COVID and just being locked up in the house, so he doesn't want to spend any more time in the house doing shit. And I get it too. I mean, I've told it it's working from home, have the wife working from home, teaching the kid, trying to do like preschool shit. So if I'm not doing my Star Wars stuff, I'm doing my real life stuff, or I'm taking care of my kid. I'm trying to make sure she's not a moron or a piece of shit, which is an oxymoron when I'm the one trying to teach her how to be a human. That does not go well. All right. Daddy is not the right person to be with a little girl for hours on end. I've told this story before, but well, I forget what the hell. We were watching Empire Strikes Back, and she literally unprompted turned to me and said, "Hey, Daddy, Darth Vader's a pussy, right?" And I was just like, "Oh,
yeah, you
shit!"
Said that I remember you said that.
I was like, "Oh, fuck! Yes, I love you for saying that and feeling that." But please don't talk like that in front of normal people because they'll take you away from me. So just more of that stuff. Like she says stupid a lot, which apparently to a lot of parents these days is worse than saying like fuck you for a little kid. Dude, I mean, come on. You know me, I'm not like some SJW. I'm all about social justice, this, that, and everything. But I'm not someone that's going to be like, oh, you said stupid. You're that's terrible. I even I still like saying retard, even I know you can't say that. So I'm not like fully nuts, but I will draw a line at stupid. Like I'm not going to sit there and make my kid feel bad for herself because she said stupid.
It's like there needs to be some level of acceptance of like, look, kids are going to say words that aren't nice, but that doesn't like, you can't just remove everything that's not nice from society.
It's like, it's just stupid. And I have like the dirty looks I get from other parents if I say stupid. It's like, fuck you. Fuck you. I was running around saying, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you in first grade. Look, I'm sort of normal.
Yeah, you're a successful human being. Like, you know.
Obviously, my mouth never got better, but I'm not a fucking complete degenerate, as I say the F word like 900 times. So you get the idea. We're all kind of feeling the burn here. I think Papa has made the best of his time with the toy photography, going to the beach and all the shit he wheels out there. But we're all kind of feeling that the drag of this year and lockdowns, this, that, and the other thing. I guess that's if you believe in being locked down or not going out and living like it's normal life. But it's been kind of a bummer. I mean, I wish I could show you all the toys, just fucking beautiful toys sitting here, getting no attention from the camera. Not that it would be great attention from my camera, but you know what I do. I give them a little portrait here or there. I try to make them look good. It's just sad. So I'll figure it out. This Mando guy, though, there's no way I'm letting homie sit. I have a feeling this guy's going to get my fat ass out there to take some pictures of, because that Hot Toys Mandalorian is just a piece of art. All right, so Coruscant Guard Hot Toys, Maul Clone Wars Hot Toys, they are up for pre-order now over on Sideshow. We actually have Link the Jedi in the chat. This is a guy that somehow scores all the Hot Toys figures like months before they make it to the States. So if you ever want to see like some of this shit, few months before you can get them over here, if you only go through Sideshow, make sure to check out Link the Jedi on Instagram. Okay, buddy, last toy segment, I promise you, Nick. You're not going to have to get the body double this week. We're doing all right. We're only 40 minutes in, and we're almost done with toys. So
there we go.
Take a deep breath. But this one, I mean, this may only resonate with the hardcore toy collectors that kind of stay on top of brands, this, that, and the other thing. But we got a story this week. It came from SW Action News via X-Clue Magazine. That's where I picked it up from. But Diamond Select Toys, if you've collected Marvel figures before or comic book shit, you probably have grabbed yourself some Diamond Select Toys. It's not a bad line at all. I mean, quite frankly, the figures are $25 to $30. They're 112-ish. They're 112-ish.
Okay.
They're typically an inch or two taller than your usual 6-inch figure. But they usually have decent detail, decent posability, decent sculpts, and decent accessories. So it's an affordable line to collect, but they typically just stuck with Marvel comic book type of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thanks to SW Action News, I mean, unless this is an elaborate fake, which if someone is going to this lengths to cook up a fake like this, they might as well just go get a job in the fucking toy marketing industry. Because this would be one of the most impressive fakes I've ever seen. But they have this picture of a Diamond Select Star Wars figure, which happens to be one Bozo Fett. It seems like we can't have enough Boba Fett figures at this scale, Nick, so I guess we need a Diamond Select version. But I don't know. The reason we're talking about this is just because this would be the first foray of Diamond Select into this type of Star Wars collectible.
So basically what I'm hearing here is that there's, the Star Wars landscape for toys has been relatively, I don't want to say stagnant, but it's got its players, and there's been no new entries into it for a while.
It's pretty much Hasbro.
Yeah, it's Hasbro, and then your Japanese toy makers like Hot Toys, Figure Arts.
Right, exactly.
And that's really about it, Mafex. And now you're potentially having a new 1/12 scale builder come in and inject some new life into the lines. But would you say that Diamond Select is better or worse, maybe on par with Hasbro? Like, where do they rank in terms of
they're pretty damn equal.
Okay.
Sometimes, at least on the comic line, sometimes Diamond Select goes for more of a toonish looking face sculpt.
Okay.
So if this is real and Diamond is making more Star Wars toys, I'd have to see like what an unmasked figure would look like. But for the most part, they make a damn good figure for around $30 or less. So they are, I would say, almost direct competition to the Black Series line. They almost pose the same, if not better. You're typically going to get a few more accessories. I guess I would compare Diamond Select to these new $30 deluxe packages that Black Series is putting out, like the Jar Jar or the new Boba Fett.
Okay. I think it's interesting because it does disrupt the toy line a little bit. It gives Hasbro a reason to say like, hey, maybe we up our game now. Maybe we start offering a little bit more in our packages. Maybe we increase the quality of our sculpts. Just because now you have if you do have a direct competitor in your line, that makes it better for both sides. It makes it better for us as the consumer, but it also is better for the manufacturers themselves because they have to up their game. So I don't know.
Maybe it'll force. I don't know if
this is fake.
Maybe it will convince Hasbro to start doing more of their. What would I just call it? Their. Oh my God! I just said it with Jar Jar and Boba Fett. Like we want to call it the special edition.
Deluxe,
deluxe. I'm sorry, I'm fucking brain dead today. Maybe it'll get Hasbro to start making more deluxe packages. 1/6 just got in here and was like, yeah, I mean the articulation isn't. I do agree that it feels like the plastic is a little stiffer on Diamond Select, but again, sometimes the sculpts are pretty fucking gnarly looking, like as in good gnarly. I have some decent Marvel figures from Diamond Select, so it will be interesting to see if this is legit, if they're getting into it. Is it just going to be Boba Fett? Or are they going to do the usual round of figures for a new line, which would probably be Vader, a Stormtrooper? I mean, Empire's easy to make. It's when you start getting in the faces where shit can get a little squirrely. Like, are we going to go back to pre-photoreal face and have some derpy Diamond Select characters, or will they truly rival what Hasbro is putting out today? So I don't know. It's something to keep on your radar if you are a collector.
Yeah, good stuff. We'll see in a few months if they actually do a formal announcement of like, hey, Diamond Select is getting into the Star Wars line. So
yeah, you gotta love collectors, man. They find shit and they start spreading that word out there. But I mean, some people are like, "Is this a fake?" And as I said at the onset of this segment, I mean, if you're looking at this image on the live stream or in the post, if you're listening to the audio version only, if you can produce this type of shit in your house, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I was gonna say, for this to be a fake, that would be a very elaborate fake, because not only are you making. I mean, I would assume that there is no other Boba Fett out there that has these exact accessories that look this exact way.
Correct.
So you have to make the accessories. I mean, if you have a 3D printer, it's easy enough, I guess. But you have to make the accessories. You have to paint it. You have to make the Fett itself and paint it. You have to make the plastic mold for the box that literally fits.
And that's what I'm getting at. Like just we could kind of fucking pretend that someone with the right 3D printer could cook up a figure that looks this good. Let's just pretend that. I still don't think you can, but let's pretend. The fucking packaging, like, get out of here. There's no way. Yeah. I mean, there's no way. You would need to get essentially, I used to work in a dairy plant, and we would make our own plastic jugs. You would essentially have to have a plastic processor, get your plastic beads from Exxon, dump it into the processor, and have it blow out these trays to keep the figure in. And then you'd have to be able to print the cardboard and fold it exactly like Diamond Select packages or toys. I don't know if you can see that, Nick, but Diamond Select for some reason always like does that triangle fold to kind of seal the box in. So I really don't think it's a fake. It's just like, all right, if this is out there and it is official, what's Disney and Diamond Select waiting for to just be like, hey, surprise, ta-da. I'm assuming, you know what this is for? I'm assuming this is a Mando Monday type of reveal.
I mean, it definitely could be Mando Monday.
If our man, holiday. I'm calling it right now. If our man is in the show, like Tamara kind of leaked on his showcast thing, I could see this showing up on a Mando Monday.
Yeah.
Right? Like, hey, Boba's back. Let's Diamond Select his ass.
Yeah, there you go. He's a Mandalorian in some people's minds, I guess. I don't know if it's ever been confirmed whether he's a real Mandalorian or not, but he fits in the Mando Monday little bucket.
Well, we know he's a fucking clone for sure. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think Django, we could play the what aboutism game, right? Like, well, was he a Mando? Wasn't he? This, that. He was on Concord Dawn, but not true Mandalore, blah, 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 blah. We know for a fucking
Creed, or is he not a Creed?
Exactly. At least we know from the movies, the Clone Wars, the prequels, whatever, Boba's a fucking clone. So he could only buy into the Creed, in my opinion. Right? He
would have to be a Mando by Creed.
Exactly. And to me, he's no different than Din. He is a whatever the fuck they called those lost kids.
Foundling.
Yeah, foundling. Same thing. Same fucking thing. And he's still a bozo. We watched Return of the Jedi yesterday. The kid just wanted on. It made me happy because I thought she hated Star Wars at this point. But you just watch the opening sequence. I mean, yes, he looks cool as fuck, guys. I will never discount his look. But between what he does in Empire and literally just it is a comedy show what he does in Return of the Jedi. It really is. We said this before. You could play the fucking Benny Hill music to that exchange, and it wouldn't be that out of place. He fails.
You're right, man.
I mean, literally, he points his gun at Luke, looks like whatever. Cuts the gun in half. Wraps Luke up, looks like whatever. Cuts that. At that point, he falls on the ground because he gets tripped from the tension from his wire. Luke's like, whatever, I'm going to go fight the other skiff. He jumps over there. Boba stands back up. He looks fucking drunk, holding his missile, like his flamethrower arm at Luke, like, I gotta line this shit up. Long enough for a blind Han to accidentally ignite his rocket pack with a staff. Like, what the fuck?
It was perfectly done. It was exactly what Boba wanted to do.
Even my wife, like, you think she listens to my dumbass about anything? Like, about Star Wars? You think she listens to this dumbass show? No. She probably fucking hates it because when I do the show, like, she actually has to kind of block off time from work to, deal with the little one. Even she, last night when we were watching this, she goes like, why does everyone think Boba Fett's such a badass? I was like, wow, that's a great fucking question. I'm glad someone like you brought that up because at this point, when I talk about it, people think I'm just trolling their asses. So he is. He's straight up Bozo Fett until he gets redeemed. It can happen. I can change. I can change people. I can grow. I've grown with my with my take on the prequels over all these years, and thanks to the Clone Wars, I've changed my tune a bit on them. In particular, Anakin. So it can happen. You never know. All right, man. Let's put the toys to bed and get to what I really want to start riffing on, just because it made me feel like I don't know, a 1, 2, 3-year-old Matt. 1, 2, 3-year-old Matt Star Wars fan. And I'm talking about Star Wars Squadrons, in particular, its VR component. So Nick, I guess let's just get
I'll
into the
let
game
you-
sans VR, like, because I don't want to sit here and toot its horn and have you come in, drop your pants, and lay a Cleveland steamer right on my chest. Okay, so let's just right off the bat talking about it. No VR, go.
So in my opinion, and I've played through, I've probably played four-ish hours of the game, like campaign mode only. I haven't played online. It's honestly kind of ho-hum to me. I feel like this was a free-to-play game that Motive first cooked up, and then EA told them, like, hey, tack on some sort of bullshit campaign, and then we can charge people for it. Because that is what really, that's all that I've played so far. And for me, this campaign feels like it's whatever. Here's a mission brief, and then do the same shit you do on every other mission. Just go blow shit up in space. Oh, look, there's a bunch of TIE fighters flying over here. Blow those up. There's a bunch of X-Wings flying over. Blow those up. And then make sure that this thing doesn't get blown up over here. Honestly, like, the graphics are great, because they're made with the Battlefront 2 engine. You can tell that immediately from the first time.
Let me ask you a question, though. Do you not feel like the graphics, even in standard mode, were at least in the non-flying sections, like when you're on either of the ships, right?
Yeah,
and you're either in the hangar
around
talking to your squad mates, or you're in the briefing room. Do you not feel like that environment, even itself, was built for a VR experience? Like, with how static it is,
I'll tell you why.
And you can't even move fluidly, right? Like,
exactly,
it's the staggered step shit.
That was the first thing I fucking told you. I was like, dude, you can't even, like, they don't even let you walk around.
No, so that's why I said to you when you said that, I was like, oh, well, then it's clear to me now that they 100% built the campaign with a VR mindset. They didn't build it for non-VR. They built it for VR. So that was like, because let's be real, I played in VR and I had literally one of the best, if not the best, gaming experiences of my 40 years. I'm not fucking around. I've been to multiple EAs. I'm sorry, multiple E3s. I've been playing games with developers before they're ready. I mean, I've done some really fucking cool shit in the video game space. Not so much in the Star Wars space. In the video game space, I've done some really fucking rad shit. This game with the VR is hands down the most fun I've ever had playing a VR game, without a doubt. Playing a game, it's up there. I mean, it's hard to say it's more fun than when I spent a year playing Gears of War with people online all over the world. But in terms of the experience, it's a fucking gem. But while playing it, I was going like, holy shit, like, if you're not using VR in these little campaign story sections, this could get kind of fucking off-putting and wonky. If you've never played a VR game, they try to remove any sort of fluid motion because it makes most people fucking yak. Like if you're in a first-person game, like a shooter, you know how you can literally strafe all around, move the camera wherever you fucking want it, and moves freely. In VR, they have something that's called like stop turns, where you'll hit right and it will take you like a quarter turn right. You hit right again, it will take you to where you're looking behind you, so on and so forth. 4 clicks, you'll be back to your starting position. Now, even in this game, you could turn it off and try to smooth scroll it, but it's still, you do not move your character. You move your character's head and look at shit and tell it, go to the briefing room, go to the hangar, talk to Gunny, talk to, homeboy.
And even in those sections, it would have taken, like, look, I'm not a game developer. I went to school for game development, so I know what it takes a little bit to just add in tiny pieces of interaction. It wouldn't have taken them that long to allow you to just say something back to, like, if, like you said, you talk to Gunny. And you hit X over Gunny's head, and she talks at you, and she'll even pose a question to you. You can't respond, and then there's a pause, and then 5 seconds later she continues talking.
Right.
And it's like, one, there's nothing that you gain in terms of insight into the campaign or what's happening from those conversations. All you get is like Easter egg drops. Like, you'll get like, oh, we're talking about Harrison Dula, or we're talking about this. Like, you'll get little Easter egg drops in it every now and then, but it's completely pointless. At least if they would have allowed you to like choose a dialogue option to say back to her, you feel like there's some sort of actual interaction happening within that conversation.
I don't disagree with that take at all. I mean, I'll explain how I interpret all those in VR, but Nick has very valid critiques of this game, because being someone that used to review games for a well, not really a living, but a slight subsidized living. I'd get review copies. I mean, I take it seriously. I don't just fucking blow smoke and throw it on. Like, I'm a Star Wars fan. I fucking love it. Like that. I try to like let my fandom take a back seat for a little bit. So I was like, VR is fucking amazing, but I've got to see what the other crowd is dealing with. And when I turned the fucking VR off, I mean, whatever. You're on the bridge. I didn't expect this campaign to be like a Fallen Order or something deep. I think the story is serviceable to move you along and teach you about the game's controls. It does, like, some of the cutscenes and some of the beef between the main characters. It adds a little bit of tension to the missions and the dialogue going across the radios. But I have to tell you, when I played it in non-VR, I was like, this fucking sucks. Dude, I was like, this is no fun. I don't even feel like I'm flying. I feel like I am a static cockpit drawing on the screen that just moves back and forth.
Dude, I was about to say that. There are certain spots in the game where you can tell you're not moving. And all that's happening is that there's lines coming at you.
Right.
Like, because the first time I noticed it, I was flying, so I was moving forward. There was something in the distance, and it wasn't getting closer to me. So the only thing that was happening was there were star lines flying past my cockpit. There was nothing getting closer. There was no movement in terms of the people. Like, usually when you're flying in a squad, and like you can see the other ships moving in relative position to your cockpit.
They're actually stuck to your controls. Have you seen that? Yeah. Like, when you squad up, if you turn the whole, you're controlling the whole fucking squad.
Yeah. So like, I'm flying straight. They're flying straight, so they're not moving.
Right.
And the thing in the distance isn't getting closer, and all there is star lines. I'm like, I know that I'm standing still.
I got to interrupt you, dude. Greg, this is where we almost need callers, but Greg had a great line here when you said you saw something in the distance and it wasn't getting bigger. He goes, "Was it a moon?"
It was
like Obi-Wan. He's like, "That's too big to be a moon." So good one, Greg. We love you, buddy. Sorry, Nick,
that's a good call.
Nick is 100% right. 100% right. When I took off my goggles, I was expecting, like, I'm not going to feel like, woohoo, this is Wizard Annie, like I felt like with my fucking goggles on. But I didn't expect to just go, holy shit, this is the most unenjoyable game I've ever played, because it looks like I am standing still in space. Yeah, I did not feel like I was flying at all. I felt the game felt harder. Like, I couldn't judge. I had no spatial awareness. I couldn't judge, like, oh shit, I just ran into a fucking Star Destroyer because I thought I was going underneath it. Where with the VR, you get all that stuff. So I would usually sit here and try to tell young Nick that he's wrong and he's stupid and my opinion is right. You guys know that. I'm that type of person. Until I realize I'm wrong, then I'll admit defeat. But this game could truly be reviewed as VR version and standard version. The standard version of this game's campaign, as Nick has said, is as vanilla blah blah as it gets. Yeah, I am with you, man. I could see how there is zero excitement in the actual missions and how there is less excitement on the bridges.
And here's the thing.
We haven't played multiplayer yet, which, again, this is what this game was made for. So We're just reviewing the campaign and the VR. Next week, hopefully, we'll come at you with some multiplayer impressions, and Nick could completely change, because this game, outside of being designed for VR, in my opinion, was purely made as a competitive multiplayer game. And I think with the right squads, based on the gameplay and the controls, it could be quite excellent. We just haven't got there yet.
Yeah, so that's exactly where I was going, is that I want to caveat some of the things I'm saying. I haven't played a flight sim, a space-oriented game in years.
Right.
Very long time.
This honestly is a relatively new genre for a lot of people. Like outside of Microsoft's Flight Simulator, I can't think of just a pure flight game in even the last 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, I know. It's like Ace Combat used to be a relatively popular game when it released on PS2. I think they had like 1 or 2 on PS3. But like, if you haven't played one of those types of games, it's very disorienting and hard. It's hard to get used to.
And friends, this is not BF2 space combat. No, it's not even close. Different. That is very arcade-ish. You can go in the third person. This is pretty authentic in terms of you better know how to fucking pretend fly a starfighter and manage its systems and also use your squad communications. Yeah. So that's something that, again, you have to get used to if you haven't done it in a while. So like even playing the game for, 4 or 5 hours like I played it, you still don't get used to it because moving in 3D space is a lot different than moving a 3D character in a flat plane space like you're used to in a video game. Like you don't have to worry about your Z axis, basically. All you have to do is worry about X and Y when you're playing a video game, when you're on the ground. When you have to worry about your Z axis and like you're literally spinning yourself, it can get very disorienting and it's hard to control that if you're not used to it. So that's one thing that I'm kind of trying to reteach myself. And then the big thing that you mentioned is this is a multiplayer game that they literally took, 2 weeks to build out some bullshit campaign and slapped it on there. So like the true experience of this game is going to be in its multiplayer. You don't like the dynamic between Lyndon Javes and Terrell and the Starhawk and all that. I do think the Starhawk is an interesting ship, although it looks dumb as fuck.
I will say that like they at least tried, like they put together actual CG cutscenes, which is nice, and they had voice actors.
You know what, Nick? I didn't expect to get that prologue set right after. I guess spoilers. There's a prologue, but it's set right after the destruction of Alderaan. I like just little even dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yeah, what did some of the Alderaanians do?
Yeah. I just wish that there was more substance. And look, like you said, it's a $40 game, but to me, this game is free to play if you don't tag on this crappy campaign mode. Because look at what it is. It is a ranked multiplayer game. This is the first Star Wars game that's released as a AAA title to ever have a ranked mode, period.
See, I didn't even know this type of shit, so thanks for those insights here.
There's no other ones. I mean, like you can say that like, Galaxy of Heroes has a ranked mode. That's what Squad Arena is. It is a ranked mode where you play against other, I mean, in that you play against other AI controlled player teams, but in this one, it's like League of Legends or
so. Dota. I mean, this could get competitive if it wanted to. It could go esports. It could,
because there's ranks that are like it's just like the Grand Arena Championship ranks, where it's like you start off at fucking Wood League or whatever it is, like Bronzium or whatever's under Bronzium, and then you work your way up to Kyber. I don't know what the rank system breakdown is in Squadrons, but it's like that. And then people can start to I think what they're hoping for is that they're hoping that somebody who is a big enough fan of this will start to make grassroots community tournaments and shit.
I mean, I still on my Hootsuite, I still have a lot of my gaming streams set up, and I had a few of the pro gamers in there. One in particular is Prodigy. You guys might have remembered him. He was on that one time only video game competition show. It was actually kind of cool. It was like Big Brother.
I remember that.
But whoever was the best gamer won it. He took second place. But this guy, Robert, I mean, this is what he does. And they sent it to him early, obviously, to drum up interest. And he actually was starting to generate a bit of a following. Like, holy shit, this is fun. Let's go. Multiplayer rank. You know how they are. Like, a lot of them are dude bro-ish. But no, I mean, it is, it definitely, this game was built for the multiplayer crowd. But as Nick said, and we're going to kind of pivot here to my VR just kind of blowjob I'm going to give this game, because we're going to change the tone of the conversation completely now. If you just listened to it, you probably thought, hey, Squadrons, meh, 6 out of 10, 7 if you're lucky, if you're a Star Wars fan. Well, now I'm going to give you the VR take and how it pretty much erases any of the issues Nick just brought up, and that I agree with him on when you just play it in standard mode. So to address one of his big complaints of, just the boring campaign, the interactions on the both of your ships, being in the cockpits of your ships, that, Nick, gets completely glossed over because when you have that headset on, you are there. You are the pilot. You are talking to them. The spatial awareness is all around you. You can turn your head around, look all over the hangars. You're looking right at Gunny. You can look down at your body, your hands. So you feel present. And if you're like me, maybe you are talking back to the people because it feels that real and authentic. I'm not fucking around. I played VR for many, many years. I do like the medium. I just think software has been a letdown, as it usually is with this type of technology. But when I was in this game, and even during these mundane moments of literally just listening to your wingmates, your squad mates bitch and moan about stuff, I felt like a rebel. I felt like a TIE pilot. I felt present on that ship. And that, as I said, was enough to just overlook what Nick was saying, the dialogue options, being kind of a passive hero, not saying anything. I felt in the room, and that's all I can really ask for as a lifelong Star Wars fan. I felt like I was on the bridge. I was in those briefing rooms. I was right there face to face with Hera and Lyndon giving me missions. It was a surreal experience, and I've been in plenty of VR worlds, but one that I love almost as much as my family members in Star Wars just kind of ramped up my. I was just blown away. It was the best way I can describe it. It was I felt giddy. I felt like a little kid. I felt like I realized a dream I had when I was 3 years old to fly an X-Wing, to sit in that steel ball hall of a TIE fighter. So that's where the VR gets even better. Like being on the ship, doing the passive shit, it's like, hey, whatever. It's mundane, but you feel present. Once you get into the cockpits, my friend, it's hard not to shed tears of joy. Being people like you and I, or the super fans here, we clearly take our love of Star Wars to a different level. Some may call it unhealthy, some may call it nerdy, some may call it strange, whatever. But if you're someone that appreciates this franchise and what it's all about and what it's done to your life, how it's affected your life, how it's turned you into the person that you are today, I can tell you it will be nearly impossible to not get chills when you strap on a PSVR, an Oculus, whatever, and you sit in the cockpit for the first time and take off. Outside of just feeling the G-forces, I don't know what else these developers could have done with the VR in this game to make me feel like a real Star Wars starfighter pilot. It was absolutely insane. It's something that I miss doing even right now. I want to be in that fucking headset. I want to be flying an X-Wing with my wingmates, blowing up some motherfucking TIE fighters. It's just the level of work that they put into crafting the interiors, Nick. I'm telling you, I saw what you can see. With that headset on, I can look down, I can see my hand moving the joystick, I can see my hand moving the throttle. If you're in one of the bigger ships like a TIE bomber or one of the transports, you can turn around, see the whole hull. You look out your window, you see the fleet. You feel a level of immersion that was surreal for a 40-year-old Star Wars fan. I mean, I 100% felt like a Luke, a Poe, an Anakin. Now I know what it feels like outside of pulling the G's. That's how damn good they did with the VR. Dude, if you would have videotaped me, you would have thought I was like on LSD or something. I was down here in my headset going like, woohoo, yeah, watch out, whoa, you know, like literally living in the game, because that is how my brain was reacting to the level of realness that this VR gives you. It's a thing of beauty, and I'm sad that you're not getting to experience it, because I feel you, dude. I feel you. If I was only playing it the way you were playing it, I would have been like, this is fucking stupid. Yeah. This is stupid. Unless the multiplayer is so addicting, I just wasted my life. Okay?
Yeah.
So I will give you that benefit of the doubt.
I don't see myself playing, like, I'll finish the campaign because I have to. And I'll play a couple of multiplayer games, and, you know, maybe Matt and I can link up.
I think we need to at least try it. I'm sure we can find 2 other people. I know the intern got it too, but he's non-VR. Stunt Buddy's non-VR, so knowing them, they'll probably both hate the game too. It's
just rough, but also, like, if they like flight, like if intern Ryan likes flight sims, if you know, Stunt Buddy,
true,
Hank the Gank likes flight sims, then like maybe they'll get into it.
I know Hank the Gank, as soon as he plays, he's gonna be like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever played. You're stupid, and I hate you.
Just having heard tales of Hank's hatred, that he probably is gonna hate it. I mean, it's hard, and like, here's the thing, is like it's hard to find enjoyment in the repetitiveness when you don't have that level of immersion. Because let's be real, like, the campaign so far as I played it is very repetitive. Like,
oh yeah, I'm not.
Hit your briefing room, go out, blow shit up. Hit the briefing room, go out, blow shit up. Make sure this doesn't get blown up. Don't die. Like, it's just. And look, yeah, you're doing it in different environments. Sometimes you're out in open space, you don't have to worry about hitting shit. Sometimes you have to weave in and out of like the different little obstacles and make sure you don't kill yourself. But it does have a relatively repetitive feel, but it's also draining, because like when you're constantly sitting there, and it's like when you're used, like, finding your bearings and you're not used to playing the game yet, it gets super frustrating, because it's like, fuck, now I got to spin around because the guy's behind me. And like it
I don't know. I mean, I get all this, dude, but when you have that thing on your head and you're in it and you're feeling that spatial awareness, like, I'm sitting there, like, I even felt my foot like stamping down on pedals, like trying to make quick turns, and like you're saying, you're in like that death spin looking for your target. But with the level of immersion that they've managed to achieve, and and I'm on the PSVR, which is like a shitbag VR headset. I'm on G1 PSVR, like the first ever, because I know I know there's a G2 that they improved some stuff in it, but it's a shitbag VR system. Like, it's no Oculus or anything like that, and it's still flawless. Yes. Yeah. You're going to take a pretty good hit to the resolution. That's just the joys of VR, at least on the PSVR. I'd say it probably goes down to 720p per eye. It's still nothing you're going to be like, oh my God, this is so terrible, it looks fake. You're still, when you're in there, you're like, holy shit, I just buzzed a Star Destroyer and was blasting at its tower just like they were doing in Return of the Jedi. It's just, without Nick throwing on the headset, it's hard to explain to him what it feels like to go through those mundane missions. He is not wrong. You pretty much are doing the same shit with a few things tacked on to teach you new modes you're probably going to need to know, or new functions you're going to need to know in the multiplayer mode. But when you're in it and you're living it, and you're sitting in that cockpit, seeing a body, looking out the windows, seeing your fleets, seeing the enemy like just fucking come straight at you and pull away, and you're pulling away, and you're kind of having a game of chicken with them. It's something else. And wearing that headset is fatiguing. But I've found myself, I mean, this is probably the longest I've ever played a VR game in terms of sittings. Like, I'm going hour and a half, 2 hours or more with essentially a brain buster on my face. That just goes to show you how enjoyable it is. It's, as I said in my review, which we've been looking at as we've been talking about here, please go check out the video. Good job to Boss, Jan, and Tones. Already watched it and left a comment. That's exactly the programming we need from everyone. That helps a lot, so thank you. What the fuck was I saying? Well,
having that just more about the immersion.
Yeah, it's fucking see your brain cells. That's one of those where I was on a roll, made a quick switch, and now I'm lost.
You were talking about the review is up, and then the video.
Oh yeah. So check out the review and the video. I kind of give you a look at what my headset was seeing. Luckily, in the flying missions, it's pretty much full screen. I didn't include any of the headset stuff from the cutscenes because they kind of look like straight crooked shit when you're wearing a headset. But it's just, I don't know. It's, I'm sorry. I finally reminded myself where I was going. There you go, dummy. Hello, McFly, right? To me, if you're like a poor person and you're struggling, to me, I would say if you've got the money, this is a hardware selling type of VR game. This is a game I would not feel bad telling Nick. I mean, obviously the job shit, he's not going to be able to do it, but I'd be like, dude, I'm telling you as a friend and as a fellow Star Wars Time Show co-host that it would be worth the $200 or whatever dollars it is now to buy a new PSVR. And I'm not fucking around. If you've got the money, you've got the lifestyle, and you've been kind of waffling like, VR sounds neat, nothing's kind of moving my meter to go get one. This is it. This is it. If you are a Star Wars fan worth your salt, I'm telling you right now, you will have a fucking blast with Star Wars Squadrons in VR. That's the caveat. In VR. Yeah. I'm telling you, there's nothing better. I mean, I compared this to Farpoint VR, which to me is the only other fully immersive VR game I've ever played. It is a gem. It truly is exactly how you would want a virtual reality Star Wars Starfighter game to play.
I mean, I'm glad that the VR mode is as good as it is, because if we linked up and I said, man, this game sucks, and you were like, yeah, the VR is not that great either, like you get sick from it or something like that, then it would have been a complete and utter flop.
Yeah, I was expecting to feel like I was going to fucking puke my guts out. But like I said, everything is perfect. I'm feeling the spins and the motion. Like I said, I think the only thing I'm missing, if this was real life, would be the G's. That the pilot, would space pilots even feel G's?
That's a good question. Right?
I guess they'd have to. I mean, Poe, when he hit that afterburn, he was like, oh, so.
Yeah, you would still feel it because there's atmosphere inside of your cockpit.
Right.
So,
but I mean, again, I'm not fucking around. It's not like I was given this game. Nick and I were nobodies. We don't get fucking anything. We pay for everything we talk about. Okay. I'm not doing this out for anything outside to just let other Star Wars fans know. If you've been on the fence with VR, if you've been wondering, is VR worth it? Is Star Wars Squadrons VR worth it? I can tell you 1000% yes. If I was just reviewing this game's VR, it's a 10 out of a 10. Hands down.
Yeah, I mean, I can buy it. So I'm not going to be getting a VR headset for PlayStation just because, I mean, PS4 is essentially a lame duck console that's going to be out of use by the time
that is
PS5
a good point, Nick. So I believe, is this for PC too or no?
Yeah, it's PC as well. So if you want to get it on PC, I assume that it would work with Oculus VR or HTC Vive. I'm not sure if there's like specific systems that it would work with, but if you are somebody who's getting a PS5 at release, I wouldn't bother buying a PS4. Yeah,
not for he's 100% right. Nick's always the one of reason. He's not the capitalist here.
I can't afford to be a capitalist.
That is a smart bit of advice. If you're going to do this, get the new Oculus Quest 2. Or even probably the original Quest.
If it's available on that, because Quest 2
is that's right. They're standalone. Console. I don't even know. So we're probably just talking shit.
Let me see if they say what it's available on. So PS4, Xbox One, Microsoft, Windows. Yeah, so it is available on PC, but it doesn't specify if you want to play on PC, what is available to you in terms of the
Tones
VR
is saying
headsets.
You can wire it to Oculus with a PC.
Okay, well there you go. So you can use it on Oculus, and then if HTC Vive is the other one. I assume
is Vive even around anymore, like actively being developed, or they just released their unit and it's kind of like the PSVR, they're just going to let it die?
I think it's like that. I don't think that they've released some other like versions of it. So there's the Vive and then there's the Vive Pro.
Will PSVR work with the 5, or that's already,
that's a good
it
question.
Ain't working? Because
I have not heard
it's really just a USB connection to the console.
Yeah.
The problem with it, at least mine, because mine's the G1, is I'm running the PS4 Pro, so it has all the nice 4K bells and whistles. But with the G1 PSVR, because you have to do a pass through, like essentially the main out from your console goes to the VR unit, and then the VR unit goes out to your entertainment center or TV.
Yeah.
So because of that, with fucking 4K and all the bullshit like HDMI 2.2 and HDCP protection, if you don't have that, you can't have HDR and 4K and all this other fucking nonsense. I lose a lot of the resolution quality on my PS4 Pro. So I don't even know if it'd be worth porting it over to the PS5. And I'm pretty sure Sony at this point has abandoned its VR entirely.
I will tell you, if they're going to do VR for next gen, it's going to be standalone. Like there's no way that they make another headset that you have to fucking cable yourself to. Yeah,
I will tell you that it still is not fun to sit there with a massive cable kind of hanging either over my shoulder or behind me, and you got headphones on. Like if you want to do it right, you gotta get fucking spatial 3D headphones too, because this game, again, like if you turn your head, it will mimic all that. You can hear stuff coming over you. You can hear all the cockpit sounds. I don't know, man. I was pleasantly surprised, because I thought the VR was going to be like most VR, gimmicky, fluttery, flying. I'd be sick in like 2 seconds and be out of there. But no, it's something that I'm looking forward to my session tonight to just strap it on and get that feeling of being in an X-Wing, in a Y-Wing, an A-Wing, a U-Wing, whatever, or all the Imperial ships.
Variants. So yeah. Good stuff, man. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. And look, once Matt and I kind of boot up the multiplayer, if there's anybody who does have a copy of it, we'll try to put out a word on Discord, see if anybody wants to play. Because I do think that
we got to try it. I think before next Tuesday, we got to get like an SWTS run. Who knows if anyone's going to have a mic? I probably will or will not. I can't really find the mic I use on my VR headset, so I don't know if I have a mic.
Like I have the PS Gold.
I do too, headset, so maybe I could use that. But I really I have special virtual reality headset that I like to use. Yeah, so we'll try it out. I mean, it'll likely be over the weekend, so maybe Saturday or Sunday, depending on if I think actually this Saturday I'm going to be at an outside whiskey tasting with my girlfriend. Nick's going for his. He's gonna test fate with the COVID.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do what the president did. He says it's fine, no big deal. Don't
let it ruin. Don't let it lead. What did he say? Don't let it ruin your life or something.
Don't let it control. I don't remember exactly what it said, but yeah, whatever.
I love that guy.
I we need to try to get it. I mean, at least with me and Matt, if not, if we can get some other SWT fans in there, whether it be the intern or Hank the Gank and some other people, we'll try to get if we can get a full squad of 5, I think that's the best.
I'll tell you what, Nick, the one thing you have to do, it looks like you have to at least play a few dogfights before it opens up fleet battles. So
yeah, I just thought we would jump in and play quick play, because quick play is like the
not ranked for
queue up, and it gives you whatever.
It's just for the idiots out there that don't want to get destroyed by the pro players.
Oh yeah, no, we're not. We're gonna do ranked immediately.
No, we're getting an SWTS clan going. We're gonna get the clan set up again. We're gonna get good at this shit, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna have all of us in our VR headsets. All Nick is gonna hear over the mic would be like, pew pew pew, watch out, he's coming over, he's at 6:00. Nick's gonna be like, what the fuck's wrong with these people?
I'll just be the bait. I'll just fly straight into the enemy team.
You'll see Nick, because he doesn't have the spatial awareness. He'll just be doing like loop-de-loops in the same pattern, like over and over, and the enemy will be like, oh, well, let's just go. It'll be like a wounded animal, and then all the lionesses will be circling it, and then we'll be sitting there back there like, go,
just pick them all off while they feast on my dumbass.
Yeah, he'll be like our Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah. We'll figure something out, though. We'll figure something out in terms of multiplayer. So I do hope that, once we get in, if we can get a squad of 5 where it's not, we're communicating, like we're marking targets, like let's all go after this guy, let's do this, then it'll feel more immersive to me.
Right.
As a non-VR user, because I do think that even without a VR headset, if you're playing that game and you do have like squad that is communicating, that is playing together, that are, we're attacking things as a unit, then it will make the game completely
some
different.
of my best gaming memories are from my 20s on the Xbox 360, Gears of War, Call of Duty 4, when that became the juggernaut that it is. I mean, every night, every single fucking night, same group of guys, 8 guys, sometimes 12, 16, all in the same chat, playing the games, winning matches, communicating, talking shit. It was awesome. I mean, the people I met online, I actually went to the UK to hang out with them. Like, that's how tight we all were, because we were talking every night. We were competing every night. We were doing okay in the game. Like, it was fun. This is when I could still actually function in online multiplayer and not look like a complete fucking pile of dog shit.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, like, I used to play Counter-Strike semi-professionally. So
it's very addicting.
It's super fun. It is. It's very addicting. Right. And like, even when you're long after your peak, if you can get that same group of 5 people together and just be like, let's do it again. Let's play in a league again. Let's do something.
Let's try it out. We got to try it out. We'll probably organize through Discord.
Yeah. So if anybody listening wants to play, hop into the Discord, go to our Instagram page and click the link tree. There, you can get into the Discord from there. If you go to StarWarsTime.net, you can also get to the Discord from there, I believe. Somewhere on there.
I don't know if that's there or not. I can't remember.
Maybe not. So go to Instagram.
Who the fuck is the webmaster at that shitty website? Send them an email. Send an email to support@StarWarsTimeFucks.com.
So go to IG, hit the link tree, and then on the link tree you'll see the join Discord.
I don't know. I mean, you never know. We could get in this and actually be competent, and maybe we will start up like a every other day or like a Star Wars Time Show Squadron session.
Yeah, if it turns out that it's super fun, then maybe, hey, we'll do like a one day a week, one night a week where we're playing all as a squad, and just
let's do it. So we'll try to get a test run before next Tuesday. I think we can get that done. Shouldn't be too hard. So get in the Discord. If you're not, the easiest place is just going to be Instagram. Hit Linktree, grab it from there. That one should work.
Yes.
All right, so we got a few updates from the live stream crowd. As we were talking, Eddie Van Halen passed away. Nick,
I saw that. I was about to say that too, because I mean, like, if you're a rocker, if you're into
one of the best
or
guitarists out there, like one of the best guitar players of all time, no doubt about it. I wouldn't say I'm a huge Van Halen music guy. I appreciate their music, great rock and roll. I'm probably more of a Sammy Hagar than the other one. But Van Halen, dead. Another celebrity, big deal. People die all the time. That's how I take it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
other ones. The Australian hats are still not in Australia. I don't know what the fuck's going on there.
Hong Kong
I think Greg said he thinks they're swimming themselves from Hong Kong over to Australia.
I think we have fans in the Chinese government, and I think what happened is that they just commandeered the hats.
Yes, it's over. It's over. They heard what we said about communism, and now they're coming after us. I don't know what to tell you, Greg. I did everything I could possibly do. I made I shipped them out, paid good money for it. I feel bad, but it's Australia. We kind of told you this type of shit could happen. You never know what happens.
When you live in a fake place, it's hard to get something.
It's very hard to mail stuff to continents that don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I don't know what you want from us. But I mean, they'll get there eventually. It's just, I do feel bad because it's like, what the fuck? I mean, what else could we have done? So
it is. It's like, what the hell? I mean, they made it to Germany faster than they made it to Michigan. It doesn't make any fucking sense, dude.
Yeah, the post office.
Like our USPS is so fucking wonked out right now. It's like the best part in America. Like that news story has been buried 10 times over now. Like it's just normal life that the post office now sucks. Like that. Yeah. That's why. they've been a lot of people that think the people in charge are a bunch of nuts. They're masterful at what they're doing. Everything is on purpose. Everything is on purpose.
Yeah.
All right, man. We've got two more topics to get into before the fan segment here. I actually thought we were doing good on time until I realized we got two more topics. This one is just like a quick PSA. Those of you that are hardcore Star Wars fans, I mean, you have to be if you listen to our dumbass show or even found out that we exist. If you're not on Instagram, I don't even know how people find this show because, I mean, we're not really searchable. The site's not searchable. The podcast isn't searchable because we don't have a lot of ratings. But if you are a Star Wars super fan, there's a good chance you know of Star Wars Theory. This guy, he's a YouTuber, huge Star Wars YouTuber. Like that's his career. I mean, I'd imagine he probably makes millions of dollars a year doing shit for YouTube.
Probably. With the amount of subs that he has.
Yeah, and dude, he's got like this theory that, I mean, any pop culture, he has kind of branched out the theory brand. So no, this is not a segment for Matt to shit on a fellow Star Wars YouTuber that is more popular than him. While yes, I do feel a lot of jealousy towards Star Wars Theory's following, I also am intelligent enough to understand why he has the following that he does. The dude actually puts out some really great homemade content. This is the guy that literally made a live action Darth Vader movie. And it was pretty good. Like, I mean, he wants to continue it, but needs like millions of dollars and Lucasfilm to quit suing him.
Yeah.
So he's put out this thing. I think he's going to start doing it. I don't know if Venomous, he's someone we've talked about on this show before. He's worked with Star Wars Theory before in his other animated projects, but he put this one out last week, and I think he's going to start doing these like what if kind of lore changes, essentially alternate timelines in the Star Wars universe. And he put out this one for what if Order 66 failed. And I'm going to tell you, it's like a 9-minute video, but it's well worth checking out. I like it's kind of it's a little bit more than motion comic animation, but it's not quite full on animation. He does some decent voices, and really the story he kind of weaves in his head is an interesting one. Again, this is a what if, it's not real. It's true fan fiction. But it's just one that I wanted to point out to other Star Wars fans. I mean, usually we're shitting on other Star Wars fans' content. I'm not that big of a lowlife after all. I can actually promote other people's stuff and tell you that it is quite good to check out. So if you have not seen this yet based on our recommendation on Instagram or Facebook, here's your recommendation. Go check it out. It's definitely well worth your watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's got some really awesome, like Matt said, animation. It's got a really awesome story.
I like the way he takes it. Essentially, I mean, I guess spoiler alert, he takes it to where Order 66, I mean, it still gets enacted, but the Jedi were ready. Like they weren't just completely
split up differently.
Right. They weren't just completely caught off guard. Essentially, the important ones were able to do what Yoda did. They could sense the turn right before it happened and got the upper hand. But the way it kind of shakes out is Palpy gets wiped out. Anakin gets thrown in prison.
Yep.
It's interesting. Padme lives. The twins live. They get trained. And he said he may continue it on if he got a good reaction. I think he already has over 1 million views. So
it's over 1 million views already. Yeah, I mean it came out fucking 2 days ago or something like that.
So like I said, I'm still fucking green with envy over the following this guy has. I would love to fire up a live stream and have 50,000 motherfuckers just like that jumping on the watch. I love all you bozos, and if there's any girls out there, I love all you ladies that jump on ours. I'm not saying that, but you know me. I'm a fucking Star Wars narcissist. I feel like I should be getting all that shit, but this isn't that type of segment. I'm not going to be Wiener Matt. I respect the guy. He puts out good content. That's why I respect him. He's not just pulling shit out of his ass and saying stuff and hoping it sticks. That's our game. Okay, Nick, last one here before we get into the fan segment, which has a brand new feature. That's right, my lazy ass finally put up the graphic to solicit fan photo critique submissions. So we're going to do that for the first time on this episode.
Hey, coming down. Yeah.
All right. But before we get to that, we've got some, you almost have to take as legit news. I didn't really see it covered in any of the mainstream sites out there. You never know. But over the weekend, I think it was over the weekend. You know me, I'm on the Reddit, Star Wars Leaks. And I see this post from Disney Plus Germany. It's not Denmark. In America, we're stupid. We think it's DE. It's got to be Denmark. No, they actually call their country
Deutschland.
They call their country Deutschland. We call it Germany. So this is from the I believe the official Disney Plus Germany account on Instagram is in their story. And in the story, they're literally like, oh, Mandalorian Season 2, starring Rosario Dawson, Timothy Oliphant, and WWE's Sasha Banks. So it's like, okay, well, is this real? Like, did they just confirm that Rosario and Timothy are actually in the Mandalorian Season 2?
I mean, it kind of seems like you're right. So it's like you said, I'm going to do a quick check right now. I'm going to type in Disney Plus DE on Instagram and see what comes up. That is the literal verified blue check mark fucking Disney Plus account. Disney Plus.
So it is
DE.
real, right?
So it's real. And
right. So if you go, I just want to clear something up. If you're on the site or whatnot, if you actually go out to the post and play the video, that's not Disney.de narrating. That's just a fan that's like, holy shit, did they just fucking put that in there? So he's reading it for us essentially.
Yeah. So, and on there, like, I think that this is legit. I think that they just fucked up. Like people do. I mean, people fuck up like this. I guess like that's legit.
I'm with you too, and that's kind of how I feel. I mean, that's how I wrote it up. I mean, it's not as official as it could get. I mean, that would be literally Lucasfilm just whipping out its big dick and be like, "Yes, this is happening. Yes, she is who you think she is." But it seems pretty legit. I guess the only thing that kind of makes me question is why has it not been all over the place? Unless I missed it. Like, I mean, I do pay attention to social media more than most people, in particular for like Star Wars stuff. Maybe I missed it, but like I didn't see like a THR covering it. I didn't see EW covering it. Do you think like they were told like, listen, fuckheads, you'll lose your access if you run with this shit? Or did it just go under their radar? You never know what makes it out on leaks, but I would think this one would have kind of made it past just fan sites like ours.
Yeah, I don't think that Disney intimidated in any way, kind of what you were saying. I just don't know. Maybe they got it down quick and a lot of people missed it. But even so, like you mentioned, you know, this is on leaks. You would have figured that people would have caught it.
I started seeing, I think yesterday I saw maybe CBR touched on it, MovieWeb touched on it. Yeah. You would just think by now there would be enough idiots like us that caught on to it, that it would have made it more mainstream media. Yeah. To the point where Lucasfilm was like, oh, fuck. There goes that. I mean, it's been kind of a bad, somewhat maybe surprise anyways, but now we kind of just have to do it versus letting it happen in the show.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know why big sites didn't pick it up because it seems legit. Like to me, knowing that Instagram page is the legit blue check verified page for Disney Plus Germany, and it said what it said, like literally like it says what it says. So, but it does. I mean, this is I'm taking this as like a hard confirmation. Take it to the bank. These characters are in the show.
You heard it from him first. Take it to that motherfucking bank in a Beskar ice cream maker.
Unless this is like a really and look, it's not hard to, you know, make fake ass shit that looks like this. Let's just be real.
This would be way easier to pull off than making a fake ass Diamond Select Toys box. That's for sure.
Yeah. Like, you know, coming up with a mock fucking Instagram story screen is easy as shit. And then doing the little bit of animation that they did in the background, not difficult, man. Like, so I don't know.
It could also just be
this is real.
I mean, you could Lucasfilm could just be taking the stance now, like as long as we don't say anything this way or that way, it doesn't really hurt us. I mean, fuckers are watching the show regardless.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
I
so
don't
who
think that
cares
this
if
is
we
gonna,
reveal the character?
And like the thing is, you know, for people who don't know who Ahsoka is, like Rosario is not a draw. Like people are gonna be like, oh, Rosario Dawson's in it. Like most people don't even know who she is,
Right.
more than likely. You know, like she was in some relatively, you know, niche
She's
things.
had a
and
long career, but has never just been in like 5
exploded.
blockbusters a year, like bang,
Yeah,
bang,
like-
bang. I mean, she was
like,
in the
what
Sin
was
City.
her-
Sin City, I would say, is probably her biggest film.
I was gonna say, like, what's her biggest movie? It probably is Sin
And
City.
then,
So people are like,
she kind of glommed on to the entire Netflix MCU project. You know, she showed up in
yeah,
a lot of those series.
yeah, she was the nurse in that. But yeah, dude, like Rent, she was in Rent, but that was 15 years ago. And then, you know,
Yeah,
a lot of
what
the other
Nick's
shit
trying to
that-
say, it's not like, hey, Tom Cruise is starring in The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
like, Tom
that would
Cruise,
be
love
a
him or hate him,
fucking
he's a
different
fucking
thing.
draw. Like, I go to every Tom Cruise movie because I know what I'm going to get. It's going to be a fucking action-packed, nut job Scientologist doing all the stunts movies, and they're good.
Yeah. So there's nothing on here that's gonna like cause people to either not watch it or watch it. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I
Like,
agree.
Those two people aren't gonna like bring in or.
That's
lose
what I mean.
people.
That's why I think Lucasfilm's just like, hey, if the cat's
They're like,
out of the bag,
whatever.
who gives a shit? All these dumbasses, they're going to be watching Mando S2 1030
Yeah.
regardless.
The people who know who Ahsoka Tano is, period, who just know who that character is, are gonna watch the show regardless. Regardless of if she's in it or not. So it doesn't matter if it kind of got out. But yeah, go check it out. It's on Leaks. It's still like one of the top things on there. And again, like this is what Star Wars Leaks has come to. None of the leakers actually put out leaks. It's just what people find online. So
I have noticed that like KRT has disappeared from leaks. Like, I don't know if like they've just quit trying to pull shit out of their ass or what, but I mean they were the
they're
darlings of
definitely-
leaks for about a month or two there over the summer.
yeah,
You'll
they're
never see
gone.
our dead asses in there. We're just scrolling, never posting because apparently
We're literally not allowed to.
we're worse than cancer for Star Wars leaks. So
Yeah.
well, it's only what I mean, what is it today? 10/6, 24
We're
days
24
away.
days out.
Let's do that.
Yep.
3 weeks, we can do it.
Yeah, I'm looking.
We can do it. I am dreading it, but very excited.
Yes,
I feel
All
like
right.
this is going to be a lore-rich season that is going to explain more videos than I like to put out.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a very, very heavy in terms of expansion of what's happening in the universe. So
Okay, dude, it is Star Wars Time Show fan segment time. Woohoo! Yippee! Yahoo!
we're here, people.
We made it. All right, so before we get into the top 5 with the new edition of the Fan Shot Breakdown segment, we are going to go through the question of the week. So let me get the screen up here. Do one of those, do one of these. All right, we're rocking and rolling now.
Yes, indeed. So our fan question
Yep,
for
there
this
you go, Nick.
week
Run with it.
is Mando Season 2 is right around the corner. So in honor of the return, who is your favorite Mandalorian?
Hey, how about that? It's like the segments just perfectly
Just so easily
transition
flow.
into each other.
Yeah. So
Okay, first reply.
first reply here is from I don't know the person's
Gregor
like their-
Clove the Second.
Yes, Clovey the second. So I don't know his IG handle, but he says Mandalorian Crusader Roland Dyer. I just think the helmet, armor, and jetpack design looks the coolest, especially on his 3 3/4 inch figure. His story is kind of lame, but he becomes a deserter like 5 times. But he
I'm
looks
to be
damn
honest,
cool.
Nick, and I don't like to admit this very often. I have no fucking clue who he's talking about.
Me neither. I was about to say that. I was like,
Can you
when I
pull
saw
up the internet
figure-
machine real quick? Is this even
I'm
real, or are we
doing
getting
that
trolled
now.
here? Because
I'm doing that now. So Roland Dyer.
yeah, I mean,
He's from comic books, so I'll tell you that.
is he from like the Sons of Dathomir run,
Let's
where
let me
like Gar
scroll
and
all
what's
the
her
way down
name
the
go to
bottom.
help him?
No, he's a KOTOR character. So
Holy
he's a Knights of
shit.
the Old Republic character.
There you go.
But
How did you not know that?
because I'll tell you why. Because it's all like he was in Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO that I played a lot. But he was
Oh,
only mentioned. He
okay.
wasn't actually in it.
Okay.
He was only mentioned. And then everything else in terms of his appearances are in comic books. And I was never a big comic book person. And this is all old canon comic books. This is all Dark Horse comic books. So I never knew of this character because even though he was in the game that I played heavily for many years, he was only mentioned. He was never actually seen there. But I mean, his look is actually, if you go to, if you Google him, he does have a very unique look in terms of his armor and what it looks like.
Dyer. All right, I'll pull it up because then
he's got like spikes on his shoulder pauldrons. He's got like almost like a silver helmet, but then his armor itself, like the Beskar of his armor, is almost like I
got an image coming up here on the live stream real quick, people. Let me drop the Slack for a second. There we go. Yeah, he's pretty rad looking. I'm pulling up a shot on ArtStation. Damn, yeah, he is sweet looking.
Yeah, I mean, he's a badass looking motherfucker, and apparently there's a 3 3/4 inch figure of him too. So if our 3 3/4 inch crowd is out there, then,
I'm surprised Old Architect hasn't whipped this guy up yet. Old Architect Customs. I mean, he's got customs of Mandos, troopers. I think he even makes up some of his own fucking customs. So.
Yeah,
get on it, customizers. Yeah, okay. I'm all about that. I like that. I like those deep cuts. I like to learn. I some new Star Wars knowledge is always welcome here.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm a big fan of people pulling out obscure stuff that we didn't even know about. I mean, like both cool. Matt and I were like, "What the fuck is happening here?" And it just goes to show you. I mean, like those old comic runs from Dark Horse, especially, way back, not even related to the Star Wars. The proper Skywalker saga era. This is back in Old Republic days. I mean, there's some good shit in there. So
that's what Sir Dork just said. He looks like a Star Wars Deadshot.
Kind of, yeah, with that color scheme.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's
Will Smith under there, buddy.
Yeah. All right, next up, from our story responses, Basta Jan sent one, but I didn't drop it in there, so I might have to pull it up on the actual.
Oh no,
IG
well he can't. He can no longer watch the show because I guess. In Australia, they do everything backwards. They just had their time change now.
Oh no!
So yeah, that 1 hour shifts them right into work. So
that sucks. So looks like this is the first fan response that we're gonna have that Boston Jan's not included. But anyway, we have one from CC8082 and his Commander Phoenix _88 Legion on Instagram. He says has to be Fen Rao. I would have said Django, but he's technically not a Mandalorian. And that's one of those things that's like, in the responses that we've got, some people are like, oh yeah, Django's a Mando. And then some people are like, nope, Django's not a Mando. So Fen Rao here, that's a good call out from Star Wars Rebels.
Right.
For those of you who are not familiar with the character. He was like a bad guy turned good, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
No, he ends up working with the Rebels via Sabine.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes. So he was like working with Gar Saxon at one point, I believe, and then he switches sides and then starts to work with the. At that time, it's not the Owls or the Night Owls or anything like that. He just starts working with the Rebels through Sabine. So good call out there, Fen Rao. Good. Not really a deep cut. I would say the last one was a deep cut, but a good middle cut in terms of.
Yeah, so I'm just on his StarWars.com data bank, and he started out working with the Republic during the Clone Wars, but then after the rise of the Empire, he did start acting in service of the Imperials. Yeah, but the Ghost Crew captures him and works him over. So
yeah, I remember that. There's a really good thread with Fen Rao included, with Gar Saxon included in.
Oh, dude, there's
Rebels.
Some great Mandalorian threads or strings of episodes in Rebels. I mean, shit. Yeah, you go to Mandalore a couple times.
Yeah, just that whole. I think it was the thread that he's included is the one where like Sabine is trying to infiltrate the Imperial base where they have the Mandalorian weapon that she helped build.
Yeah.
That like shocks their armor and essentially fucking disintegrates them from the inside out. So thank you for that response. Next up, we have one from Lima4 Photos, one of our loyal Discord users. She says, Sabine Wren, she pretty much represents a balanced Mandalorian, not far removed from their traditional warrior culture, but adaptable to the reality of the current situation and not being too wrapped up in being a Mandalorian, who for the most part kept to themselves. The best evidence of this was her working with Jedi and being a part of the rebellion in general. She also has a certain flair about her, and not just her being colorful. What a chick, he says.
Yeah, Sabine's a sexy motherfucker. There's no doubt about it. I know what Liam is getting at.
Yeah, and not just her being colorful.
But yeah, no, that's a good take. And I think at this point we just have to draw a line of demarcation for Mandalorians. And I believe the Creed was created after the fall of Mandalore. So like, you know, once the Imperials really fucking hammered him, probably based on what happened at the end of the Clone Wars and them essentially getting pushed back. The Imperials coming there, what do they call it? Like the Night of 1,000 Tears. We've heard some of that shit from Gideon. It sounds like that the Empire does some pretty horrific shit to Mandalorians on Mandalore, which is probably why they scatter, live like rats, and then had to, instead of just saying, hey, we're born on Mandalore, we're Mandalorians, now it is the Creed.
Yeah.
Because let's be real. I mean, Sabine's fucking helmet is off for half of Star Wars Rebels. We've got Mandalorians in the Clone Wars not wearing helmets.
Yeah, their helmets.
So obviously that Creed, and you got to keep it on. That is all stuff they had to do after. I'm going to call it the fall of Mandalore to the Empire.
To protect their identity,
exactly. Like, I mean, they lived like fucking nomads. They like warrior nomads.
Yep, absolutely. So, next up, Old Architect Customs, and he picks Canderous Ordo.
There you go. A very different type of Mandalorian, right?
Yeah, I mean, Canderous, he was your companion in KOTOR. So if you remember playing through KOTOR, he essentially fought against you before, you had lost your memory. So he fought against Revan in the Mandalorian Wars and was just basically he was a murderer. He was like a bloodthirsty Mandalorian. And then he comes into your employ through the game and he fights on your side as. So what,
Nick, I mean, I'm going to default to you on this because you're kind of the master of like that old ancient Star Wars time period. Did Canderous ever wear the armor? And if not, why doesn't he wear armor?
He did wear the armor when he was an actual Mandalorian fighting in the wars.
Okay, the wars. But then, like, when you meet him in KOTOR, he's essentially become like a merc, right?
He's a mercenary, okay. Yeah. So I think for him, it was the armor itself holds a very sacred type of meaning to it. And, he no longer considers himself a part of not really Mandalorian culture because he's very much still strongly a Mandalorian, but he doesn't wear that armor anymore because that's not, he's not putting himself out there as a Mandalorian warrior anymore. So,
he had a cool haircut, some face scars. He had that big ass fucking Gatling laser.
Oh yeah, that gun was sick, and like even in Galaxy of Heroes,
I was gonna say, man, you have a Canderous in Swago because you needed to get the Revans with them.
Exactly. So my Canderous is pretty strong. So this is the rest of Old Architect Customs reply. It says that man was a beast. The honor to have battled alongside him during the Mandalorian Wars. The fact that he unified all the loose factions of Mandalorian and become Mandalore the Preserver, preserving the true meaning of Mandalorian. Also, he fought with Revan. Enough said. So, good shit all around there. And again, like some of this lore that he mentions is like things that you unlock during the conversational pass that you take throughout.
Hey Nick, did we get a lot of? Was there a lot of like, Mando or Din or like the obvious ones or
there were some Mando and Din in there as well. I tried to pick out some of the more obscure names. Right. So like Canderous was a perfect one. Sabine was one that was not said a lot. I mean, we still only got like 20 responses in total. So we had the two. I
guess it was still better giving them some lead time. And then I remembered to repost in the story, I think yesterday.
Yeah, so we got the 2 story responses. We got Boss Chance 2, which is not in here. And then I picked out 8 of the responses to bring us to a total of 10. So there was a good mixture of things, but I liked some of these more obscure ones.
Yeah.
Like for example, Baron's Black series, and this one was actually a pretty popular response.
Yeah,
in terms
I have
of,
no fucking clue who he's talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah,
like, what?
I mean, it's so he actually put Cal Skirata, but it's Cal Skirata with an A. Even though he is Legends now, got to be Cal Skirata. He helped train
get it
the
right,
clones.
Spencer.
Gosh, Spencer, what a fucking idiot! No, I'm just kidding. So Cal Skirata, he helped train the clones. He was the adopted father of the Null Arcs and the Omega Squad from Commandos. He embodied and showed the true values of the Mandalorians and their culture in Legends, he says. He showed how the family you chose can mean more than the family you are born into. Choice means so much more than for those you have to love because they're blood. He chose to pick those boys and love and raise them.
So I'm guessing this guy is an old Legends character then, because I mean he's not in the official Star Wars databank. He is only in the the fandom Wookiees, the Wikipedia.
Yeah, I mean, so Omega Squad is like where his first appearance was. So like in the Omega Squad comic book run, and then he was also in Republic Commando. That as well. So he was in that video game as the in the novel, not the video game Republic Commando.
Got it.
He was in the novels through that as well. So he was the one who trained. He was a trainer for the clones, and he was a true to life Mandalorian.
Interesting. I'm definitely getting taken to school on Mandalorians today.
Yeah, and then I mean like he was primarily in written content. I don't believe he actually made it into the Republic Commando video game. So there you go. Good stuff there. So again, another like deep cut, good like dig into the lore.
Hey, good for you, Spencer. Yeah, Spencer. You know what Spencer did? I don't know if you saw it in Discord. This guy went out and hunted down Hank the Gank.
Oh, really?
And sent him a message. He's like, "Hey, man, when are you gonna get on the Star Wars Time show?" And
actually, I mean, like we've said Hank the Gank's real name on the show,
and give at Haywood Pop the business. So Hank comes to me. He's like, "Yo, who the fuck is this?" I was like, "That's one of our super fans."
Yeah,
he's like, we've talked about you on the show before. You've got a little bit of a show legend going. So I guess Baron is wanting Hank to come on for an interview. So, and of course Hank in his Tommy Tough Guy way was like, "I would, but he's afraid of the truth." It's like, what truth are we talking about? Like your Fox News shit or like Star Wars truth? Like what are we getting into here? So,
oh man,
we'll see. We'll see.
I Fox Newser.
I think it'd be fun. I think it would probably just have to be me and Hank.
Yeah, I think that would be the better way to do it.
Yeah, because it could get ugly.
I mean, look, and you could have him on as just a regular interview because even though he hasn't that's what it would be. I think he hasn't worked on Star Wars directly, but he's close enough.
I think at some point in time we could also just have people join the actual show with just you and me and just go through it like a show.
Yeah,
like special guests, like this week featuring 1/6 shooter in the guest seat, something like that.
Yeah.
It's just
eventually we'll.
Yeah, it's just the people have fucking 3.5 hours to kill in the middle of a Tuesday.
we may literally have to just say like, okay, we promise the cast won't go more than 2 hours.
Oh my god, yeah, I don't think people understand. Like, I mean, they get burnt out just listening to it. I don't think people truly understand what it takes physically to talk for over 3 hours straight with no break.
It's tough. Like I finish the podcast and I go downstairs and I have to eat something because I'm just so.
No, I'm
drained.
wiped. Like pretty much the rest of Tuesday, I'm somewhat zombified.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's sad. We sound like pussies because like you're just sitting down talking, but like it.
Dude, I mean, listen to a guy like Stern. I mean, he's like, if I didn't take breaks during a show, I'd die. It's like you got to do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna drink some water right now because I need to.
But anyway, what's wrong here, Trevor? Not 1/6 fucking shooter. All right. So I guess no 1/6 shooter in the guest spot. That's all right.
Wow. Okay. Damn.
Jeez,
Trevor, we thought that you liked this.
People are angry. He's going the way of work more or less. He won't even tag us anymore. So
Whoa.
You know how it goes. Yeah, like
mean, we
he
still
did a
gotta
cool
do-
collab with Venomous, no tag. I'm like, dude, what's up? Not even a reply. So I don't know, like if I said something stupid, but
fuck you, guy. Fuck you guys.
See,
all you do is talk shit about me on the show.
there you go. Like whenever you get Nick angry, you better watch out.
No, I'm just kidding. But we do need to.
Yeah,
get,
so more of you go around.
More
of you go around and start bothering people we talk about on the show on their social media. I like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a good move.
You actually keep doing it to Stunt Buddy until he blocks you.
That probably won't take much. All right, next up we got Scion XTC here, another loyal listener. He says pre-Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla tried to keep the ways of the warrior while trying to be a leader to his people. He had been able to fully lead over the people of Mandalore with a modernized form of the warrior values and culture bestowed upon them by the first Mandalorians. Then I think the Mandalorians would not have had to go into hiding and would still be a strong force in the galaxy. So if he were able to kind of modernize the Mandalorian way, but he says pre-Vizsla. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with pre-Vizsla, that's Johnny Fab. That was John, right? John voiced Pre?
Yeah,
Johnny Favreau.
He's the leader of Death Watch.
Yep. So Johnny Favreau, and then he's also Paz Vizsla, which is Heavy Mando.
And then obviously they're all related. I mean, clearly the Vizsla lineage is strong. I think
the Vizslas. There's another Vizsla on here that you won't know, but I'm very familiar with. And they go way back, way back. So pre-Vizsla was a good pull there. And then our next response is from Galagus Rax Pix,
who does fucking killer small scale scenes, by the way. Like this account, the 3 3/4 inch scenes they cook up and the amount of figures, fantastic.
I believe Galagus has made a top 5 in the past as well, but his answer is Django. So he says that Django is a Mandalorian. He says always has been and will be. Being Mandalorian is a creed, not a race. And the only people who said he wasn't Mandalorian were the pacifists around Duchess Satine, who weren't real Mandalorians by creed, only by birth. Look at that. He's fucking taking out the gauntlet, saying that Duchess Satine and her people weren't even real Mandalorians.
I don't know. I mean, that is, I guess, as one take. But, I mean, any of like the fan shit you read or any of the Wikipedia on this topic, because I don't really think it's been settled in canon yet.
I mean, he was a born Mandalorian for sure, right?
Well, I think from what I've read, he was born on Concord. He was born on Concord Dawn, which is technically a Mandalorian planet.
Yeah, it was a Mandalorian.
I mean, that's where we first all heard that Boba Fett came from before he was a clone and all this shit. I believe so. And then, like it was almost like he was like Django was sort of a foundling, and that's how he became a Mandalorian.
Yeah,
there's some shit like that. Whatever. Like he wasn't born on Mandalore, so he's not a Mandalorian that way. But if the creed was back then, sure. But Nick and I just settled that, so this is false.
Yeah,
we just canonized with my demarcation line. The creed came in post
after the fall,
the Clone Wars, at least.
Yeah. So there you go. Your response does not count, Galagus Rax Pix, because you did not follow the newly established canon.
And you should know that. You should have read my mind in the future and knew that I was going to set that and settle that debate. So we'll give you a pass this time. Next time, make sure you're reading our minds.
God, so fucking dumb.
You amateurs.
Good response there.
Use the Force, Luke.
So here's another Vizsla. This is at a Sith Lord Lego, says Mandalore the Avenger, Shay Vizsla. Sexy, serious, and an absolute badass. So for those of you who don't know who Shay Vizsla is, if you've ever seen any of the cutscenes from SWTOR, so Matt, particularly, you remember the one where the ship comes in the Jedi Temple, all the fucking Sith come out and they have a big battle. Do you remember the bounty hunter that was a part of that cutscene?
No, but I do now because I used the Google.
There you go. So Shay Vizsla is the bounty hunter.
Oh, a redhead.
From that, she is a very attractive Mandalore.
Yeah, she kind of looks like Samus.
A little bit, yeah.
Right,
There's
Metroid.
a little bit of a Samus look to her.
She's got some bulky armor too.
Yeah, but she is a complete badass. She was the lead. So anybody who has the title like Mandalore, the something, they are the leader of the Mandalorians. They are the Mandalore. So they are the head of the Mandalorian culture and society. So Shae Vizsla is one of those, and she was a badass. And you can eventually, like, this came after I stopped playing, but you could unlock her as a companion character for your player. But also she had like a flashpoint, which is like a dungeon built completely around her. And
yeah, I'm just like looking at some
stuff.
of the graphics. It looks like she was a boss fight in that game.
Yeah. I mean, she's fucking badass, dude. I mean, I really enjoyed playing against her in that battle. And
well, I mean, I gotta agree. I think his name in real life is Tom, a Sith Lord of Lego. Definitely sexy and serious.
Yeah, that like CG picture of her is like, oh damn, she's a hottie. Like,
yeah, she doesn't even have like head tails, and I'm getting aroused here.
Yeah, just a regular human character. So, good call
There's
out.
There's a pretty
there
good Shae Vizsla cosplayer too. Like, you really want to get real life creepy.
That's like getting down the fucking.
Oh, I'm down the Shae Vizsla rabbit hole, like creepy hole right now. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's stop. I'm getting too excited here, Nick.
Pull back. Apparently, was there a Shae? There might have been a Shae Vizsla figure or something like that. That unless it was like
it probably custom. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
All right. I like that. That's another good job this week, my friend. We're not done yet, but so far so good. Much better than that shitty performance from the fans 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next up is
there he goes. Tones is returning to the replies.
Our good buddy Tones, and he's also a big fan of Sabine Wren. He says, coming out of the Imperial Academy, but ultimately disagreeing with their ethics as beliefs, and ended up joining the rebellion as a part of the Ghost crew. Sabine's loyalty to Kanan, Ezra, and the others was one of her strongest traits, in being a weapons and explosive expert as well as an anti-imperial graffiti artist. I like that. A little thrown in part there. She was a vital member of the group. Hopefully we'll see more of her either in live action or animation.
I think that's a done fucking deal.
Oh, yeah, almost guaranteed. The rest of her story has yet to be told, but hopefully we will see more of her. You're right. I mean, Sabine is one of those where, like, if she was a part of, like, proper, like, the Mandalorian, like, if she was in Mando season 1 or if she was in any of the movies, like, people would have immediately
she'd be a fan favorite. She's definitely one of my favorites in that crew. I mean, really, the Rebels cast was fucking perfect. Every character was unique, but they all gelled together perfectly. They did feel like a family. Zeb was kind of the chewy character, the big walking, talking family dog that could also rip your arms off.
Yep.
You had the shit talking astromech.
Yeah,
you had the wise but love-filled Jedi. I mean, it is a good show.
Cocky young Padawan.
Yeah, I mean, damn, Ezra's thread was great. I mean, he was the cocky kid. He got trained, then he got influenced by the dark side a bit, kind of was going down that path, came back, then kind of, sacrificed himself. Kanan's final moment was one of the first cartoons that got me to weep. It was a good show. I mean, I know some people were all bent over the animation. It's like that type of shit. I guess I don't. Exactly. Thank you. As long as the story is good, I don't care if it's fucking stick figures. I'm being dead serious. Like, if there is a story there that I can latch on to and think about and get engaged with, I could give a rat's fuck, honestly. Yeah. As long as I don't have to read words and shit, I'll put that caveat in there. I'm not reading fuck. Get out of here. But
yeah, reading is
if you have moving images of some fashion, I'm probably going to check it out.
Yeah. So good shit there with another Sabine response. And then the last one, we have Grief Cardboard again, one of our favorite names. And he is going with Din. He says, I'm going with Din from The Mandalorian. I know he's not a Mandalorian I like this by birth. But he still carries the name and armor. He's not a pompous asshole like the traditional Mandalorians we've seen in the Clone Wars and Rebels. True. Good call. He is an honorable bounty hunter and is pretty much a badass in his Beskar armor. And can't forget all those wonderful toys he uses to whoop ass. This is the way.
True.
So
first off, can we point out this guy's handle?
Yeah, Grief Cardboard.
That's a fantastic play on Grief Karga. That is just fucking Grief Cardboard. I'm always impressed by people that cook up money handles. Because I've never been able to do it. My handles have been some of the dorkiest fucking things ever in life. My first handle, I will kid you not, my friends. And I'm probably a lot of people are going to lose respect for me after they hear this. But it just goes to show you where my head was at in like the early 2000s. Jedi Baggins 1138.
Nice.
How fucking dorky is that shit? Jedi Baggins 1138. I also was Mythrander, the Grey Wizard. I mean, this is one like the
Lord
Peter,
of the Rings was
Peter
everything.
Jackson's Lord of the Rings movies really sucked me in. It's still one of the best trilogies ever made. But yeah, that's where I was at when handles were becoming a thing. I mean, I got Gmail when it first showed up. My email there is Jedi Matt.
Hey, and it's EYE.
Yeah, EYE, like I'm fucking tricky or something. And then my handle just
like,
kind of morphed into versions of Faux Hammer, again from Lord of the Rings with a little Halo twist. But the Faux Hammer was Lord of the Rings, the swords, if you know what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm quite a geek with LOTR too, so.
There you go. Next time, the next show / podcast spinoff.
I just wish I could cut like Grief Cardboard. That is fucking
It's
awesome.
just so good. It's fucking perfect, man. So
next time I see the actual character, that's what I'm going to think now is, hey, man, there's Grief Cardboard.
So that's the end of our responses to question of the week. Thank you, everybody, for participating, whether it be through the responses in stories or responses directly on the comments of the post on Instagram.
Oh my God.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking the time, a couple minutes in your day to come up with a cool response and then share it with us. So thank you very much to everybody who participated.
And one more amen to Grief Cardboard. It's just one of those words now that's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the day. I'm sorry, my friends.
Amen.
All right, so the question's over. The tournament is on hiatus for a while, so you know what time it is. It is time for the top 5 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. But this just isn't any week. This isn't a Matt plus 1 week. This isn't a Matt shit on himself week. This is a brand new type of week. It's one we've been teasing. It's one that took almost no effort to launch, but for some reason I just couldn't do it. But we are finally ready to start critiquing fan-submitted shots.
Yes.
I'm not going to do it just to be mean. I'm not going to be mean just to be mean. I'm going to give you my honest reaction to the image. So we actually got a pretty good amount of submissions. Please feel free to keep submitting them. I mean,
keep sending them.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'll probably have to post that graphic, once a month just to remind people. But we did get a good dose of shots to be critiqued. So the way it happens now, I essentially have a repository with all them saved, and then we'll rotate through Matt plus 1, Matt shit on himself, and then Matt shit on a fan. Just kidding. It's not that's not the topic there, but we'll see. I mean, if I get a real clunker, I will probably have to tell you.
It's eviscerate you.
Yeah, it's not good, but I'm not going to be mean just to be mean is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
So submit them up if this is something you want to get into. This is something completely different than the top 5. The top 5, this is still use Star Wars Time Show, the hashtag, and then tag the @Star Wars Time Show account on IG. That's how you get your daily features and the top 5. If you want a shot to be critiqued, DM us a link, email us a link, and we'll get it into the queue. And then Nick will be picking the shots for me to break down. So I only know the users Nick chose. I don't quite know the shots. So I wanted to keep it fresh. So when we get there and we scroll to it, I'm going to be looking at them for the first time. So you're going to hear exactly what comes to my brain.
Yes, exactly. So we'll go through our top 5 first. And to kick off this week's top 5, it is one of our goats. It's one of the one of the OG toy photographers out there, and this is our good buddy.
You heap some praise on our good man Jared here. I got to take a whiz. I'm sure people saw me. I'm like bouncing up and down in my seat. I'm literally like I have my wiener in a fucking hand vice right now to just keep it from leaking out into my diaper. Hold on, go ahead.
Tie it in a knot. Okay, so I think what Jared did here is that he hears me and Matt talking about how much we love this game Ghost of Tsushima week over week, and we've been talking about it nonstop for like 4 weeks, almost a month now, if not more. And what Jared has done is he's taken some inspiration from Ghost of Tsushima and put it into a Star Wars toy pick using the samurai stormtrooper from I think it's the Tamahashi Nations line. Matt knows the line better than I do, but he's sitting in a perfect cross-legged pose. He has his katana drawn across his lap, and he is sitting in a field of beautiful flowers in the sun. Like, this may be one of my favorite Sir Dork shots ever. Like, I've seen a lot of them, and this may be my favorite one ever.
I feel like Jared is going through a renaissance. He's scaling back on the flamethrowers, the gasoline, the grenades, the TNT, you name it, DDT. You never know what this guy's going to be using. And he's starting to touch on his artistic side. He's getting in. He's got flower petals. Yeah, he's capturing sun rays with, I mean, knowing him, it's probably still some sort of flammable gas he's using. This he ain't gonna fuck with atmosphere aerosol. This shit has to be something that is noxious or poisonous that could take something out. But I've got another one we'll eventually feature of Darth Maul, that this guy, he was showering Maul in rose petals, and it is another beautiful shot. So I don't know if Chaos Cuties is like, doing something for this guy now, and he's touching on his more artistic side when he's out shooting. But in terms of his Star Wars stuff, he's gotten down to a little more of an artistic approach versus let's fire it up, fire it up, fire it up. And we still love the fire it up shots, but I'm liking this these prettier shots he's producing.
It evokes memories of sitting down in Tsushima and doing your haiku.
Oh yeah. This motherfucker is writing a haiku right now.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking.
What is
I don't know, man.
5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5, right? Can we whip up a haiku off the top of our head?
Not me.
He is sitting.
That's 4 syllables.
He is sitting in a field of light and grass.
Okay.
Like a tiny man. That work?
Figure. Tiny man figure.
No, you're right. I mean, I felt that way too. I don't know if Jared's playing Ghost. And by the way, it is Ghost. I've been saying Ghosts of Tsushima myself, but it's fucking singular. And by the way, dude, you see next week that game is getting essentially an update that people would pay money for. I mean, it is getting full-on co-op campaign support. Yep. Full-on 4-player like challenge modes in a raid.
I know, that's
crazy. Like, holy shit. And then just this regular stuff they're patching up sounds great. Like the new game plus is getting all super tweaked, or you can get new collectibles. So we've already blown that game so many times it can't even get aroused anymore. So it is what it is. Ghost is fucking fantastic.
Yes, I almost think that Jared just made this for us. He was like, these motherfuckers keep talking about Ghost. I'm going to give them a shot that strongly evokes Ghost of Tsushima.
It is. So. It's just like, we're joking around with Sir Dork. It's just like, I mean, the guy is known for the explosions.
Yeah, no.
So it always. Blah, 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 blah. That's all, folks. It's always interesting to see when an artist kind of steps away from their bread and butter and tries out something new, and obviously the guy knows what he's doing. So.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely beautiful shot at Sir Dork 730 on Instagram. You know,
by the way, who's like a motherfucking sponsored toy photographer now. So.
Yeah.
Look at this guy's doing work. I mean, this guy, he did what any people need to do when you get that viral chance. Not everyone gets that viral bump that Jared got a couple years, but he has made the most out of it. He's turned it into, he's getting Hasbro opportunities. He's like fucking, I hope he's getting paid by these Mountain Dew motherfuckers he's blown up cans for and doing creative shots. Like, you know, you gotta be proud of the young man, right?
Oh yeah, man. I'm so happy to see all of the accolades and all of the
he's doing work. He's doing fucking work. I think he's finally getting traction on his YouTube with all the nice tutorials he does. So, and honestly, Jared's one of the biggest accounts out there that still reps us like we're just as big as he is, and I do appreciate that. So
yes, we love him. We love Jared. So, beautiful shot at Sir Dork 730. Well done, sir. Next up, we have a shot from visual_approach_photography.
Before you get
Instagram.
into this, Nick, I got to tell you, I don't know if you read Sean's comments. These two troopers have become you and me. That's what he calls them. Because he's done a series with these two troopers on Navarro. Like, I put up another shot you didn't pick for top 5, but the one was kicking a skull. And the other one's like, what? And when I put that up, he's like, oh, yeah, that's the Star Wars time, bros. And then when I put this one up, he's like, ooh. He's like, oh, Matt or someone's getting capped in the gut. So I don't know if visual approach. This is Captain Ordo, by the way, Nick. He just changed his name.
Oh, he changed his name. Right, okay.
Right. So I didn't know if you, I mean, obviously you're not as in the scene as I am, but
I did not know
Captain
that.
Ordo about a month ago changed to visual approach photography, obviously still putting out just fucking magic.
Oh, yeah.
But no, I don't know if he listens to the show regularly or just when we feature him. I know he's heard of it. I know he knows of us. Yeah. But he has recently, especially with these two troopers, that's you and me. So I was honored to have Visual Approach name some of his shots after our two dumbasses.
Oh man, that's touching, man. I love that.
But this shot right here, Nick, I mean, to you, what is the magic? Because there's one thing to me that just stands out.
The magic in this shot, I mean, there's so many magical things.
We're seeing full Beskar Mando in a locked pose with a trooper blasting him. The baby's there, another trooper there. They're on a live Navarro set. I mean, motherfucker literally built a Mustafar diagram that he's now using for Navarro. That's all real, Nick. Like that lava, that's fucking real.
Yeah. All of this is practical.
Yes,
what you're seeing in frame,
everything in here is practical.
Hard to fucking put into your head. Like, this is all real. To me, I love the fact that you have little baby Yoda, the child there, just force choking.
Yeah, he's pushing the one guy into the lava. Right.
Yeah. He's got but then like the thing that gets me, the fucking pose of Mando is perfect.
That's what I was looking for.
It's dead the fuck on. And like the fact that he's got like one hand holding up the gun of the stormtrooper and then the other one, that perfect pose of the gun just right in the gut, and then the spray out of the back is just magical. This is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, I've talked about this before. Being able to pose like this is what is going to set you apart from someone like myself. Papa's another one that can pose this way. All the big accounts can. I mean, let's be real. That's why they're big accounts. I mean, look how fucking dynamic this shot looks like. It looks real outside the fact that we know they're toys. Yeah. Those look like real human bodies using their muscles and skeletal system to do something. So I don't know how long it takes to get them in these poses, keep them in these poses. I'm assuming there's wires all over the place. But this is the thing, at least with my toy photography experience. This is why I'll never be big, and I've just come to terms with it. I don't want to take the time to fucking perfect those poses, because it takes a lot of time. It does take a lot of time. I mean, like I said, I get there, I fucking slap a figure up. It's like, how many shots can I get of this figure in an hour and a half? Go! Where I imagine people like Visual, Papa, they visualize an idea, they execute the setup, they execute the posing, they get everything perfect. I mean, that could take an hour and a half, and then they snap the shot they want, and then it's game over. Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why you get work like this. I mean, there's a lot to be said about putting time into this hobby, putting time into your setups. 100%. I'm never going to say I couldn't do something like this. it would take me a lot of time and effort, and I'd have to rely on a lot of people to help me. It's just, I don't know. I mean, I guess at this point in my toy photography career, I don't want to be as awesome as visual approach photography, nor could I really even compose a shot like this. You know, let's be real.
Patience too. You don't have, I don't know if you have the patience.
No, I have zero patience. Really I have zero patience, which means I am not built for this hobby.
You need to smoke some of the grass. Do you get high before you shoot?
No, because then it's just
you need to.
Like I'll just sit there and stare at shit. Like, I mean, I've learned that with watching TV at night. I mean, my favorite program at night now is watching the Apple TV menu icons. And then when it goes to the live screensaver, I'm not fucking kidding. I like, if you could look up on my Apple TV what app runs the most, it's going to be the Arial screensaver. Where it just downloads like new sceneries of the earth and the ocean and shit. Yeah. Because I'll sit there and be like, I want to watch something. There's so much to watch, right? I could watch The Boys. I could watch the end of The Walking Dead, this, that, and the other thing. Then I'm like, I got a place to go. And then 20 minutes later, I'm still on that stupid thing. And there's the screensaver going. And then I'm like, now I'll watch it. And then something else will pop up. I'll be on Instagram DMing with Bostajan or Twinkle Tits. You never know. So, no, you're 100% right. People like Visual Approach have to have expert level patience, but also just the foresight to cook up a shot like this. Like I've said this 1,000 times. This stuff doesn't even register in my imagination at all.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a special mind to do stuff like this. So at visual_approach_photography, formerly Captain Ordo, give him a follow, because this guy is, like Matt said, this is expert level stuff we're seeing here. So beautiful work. Next up is a first time top 5 entry, and this is Jedi Diego _SW. And I'm going to be honest with you. I saw this image and I thought that this was like real.
There you go.
I was like, at first I didn't even realize it was a toy pick. I was like, is this like some like sort of like other art piece? But then I looked at it, I was like, holy shit, this is a toy. So what we see here is a Mandalorian figure blasting up into the sky with his jetpack, and he's shooting his rifle down. But like, I don't know if there's like a filter on this shot or the way that Jedi Diego kind of did post work on this, but this doesn't look like a toy.
I know what you mean, and again, I don't have the technical know-how to tell you what the proper term might have been in post, but it does, like the finishing here. Maybe it's just the natural light doing it, but it does. And obviously the close up perspective helps. The tilted, I mean, anytime you're shooting toys, you typically want your camera to be on a lower plane so you can angle the lens up. It just makes the figures feel a little bit bigger. So he's got that going for it too. It's a figure not a lot of people have, so that stands out as well. Yeah, but I'm like you. I mean, it's just another well-posed figure. Great lighting, and it just works. I mean, that is a great flying Mandalorian shot.
Yeah, very beautiful work here. So yeah, I don't know if this is like he just caught it right with, like you said, the natural light and everything else around it. But like,
I mean, it looks. If I were a betting man, I'd say he shot it outside. Obviously, the gun flares post, the jet flares post. I don't know if you can see a little bit of bokeh there. I'm assuming that might be like a Photoshop filter or something like that.
Yeah. But it like gives like just that little bit of like, it's like the bokeh, but it's like, it's faded and it just gives the shot a feeling of motion.
Yeah.
And it just works so well.
I mean, Jedi Diego did what I said all toy photographers set out to do: make these things look like they are alive.
Yeah.
It's harder than it looks. Sometimes you get lucky. I rarely get lucky, but people like Jedi Diego definitely knocked it out of the park with a shot like this.
Really hit it.
So definitely a good level of realness to this figure.
Yeah, go give him a follow too. Only 1,300 followers on his account. It seems like he's been around for a little bit of time. 710 posts. So at Jedi Diego _SW on IG. Let's get him some more follows, because the guy puts out some really good work. Even his most recent shot of the 332nd Troopers is pretty solid as well. So good work, sir, at Jedi Diego _SW. Next up, And like this guy, so this is at Benny_production. This is a massive account.
Oh yeah, was he
138,000 followers?
I thought he was 250,000, but I knew it was up there.
Yeah, he's got over 650,000 followers or subscribers on YouTube apparently. So this guy is a professional Photoshop artist.
I mean, he's not as big as Boss Logic. I would assume Nick knows who Boss Logic is.
Yeah.
I mean, Boss Logic has become, I think Jake Gyllenhaal cemented his legend in pop culture when he talked about him on, I think, Jimmy Kimmel. But Boss Logic is, I mean, very large gentleman, not that that matters, an Australian as well. But he makes some of the greatest Photoshop art out there, meaning he takes other people's stuff and lights it different ways, mashes it together, makes composites, cooks up new ideas, puts spins on stuff. But yeah, I would say Benny is kind of like a Boss Logic.
Yeah,
right?
And what we see, definitely similar in terms of what they do in their primary medium of work. But what we see here is just an absolutely incredible rendering of a potential Mando season 2 poster. So what we see is Mando with the child kind of in the slung over pouch in the foreground. Off to the left side of the picture, you see Boba Fett in the back, and then from there is just like, it is a perfect representation of standard Star Wars posters where you have the secondary players coming into the background as well. You see ships off to the side, and then you have this like duality of sides where you have one side of it is like
you have the light contrasting off each side. It's just I mean, it's a work of art. It's a work of Photoshop art, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful portrayal of what we could see in Mando season 2 with Boba Fett. You even see down on the bottom right, you see Ahsoka from the end of Clone Wars season 2. Actually, no, that was in Rebels.
That's her. That's literally the end, the epilogue of Rebels.
That's and then you see Grief, you see Kara, you see
Grief
some
cardboard. What?
Grief cardboard right there.
I told you, man. Anytime I see him now, he is now Grief cardboard.
But I mean, it's just overall a very beautiful piece of Photoshop work that was done here by Benny.
It does. When I see these two together, I do like Din and Boba together, but I want Din to fucking kick his ass.
Just straight up kill him. Not even
just beat the shit out. Like, just embarrass him.
Doesn't even want to try to work.
I want him to throw him the fuck back into the Sarlacc. Like how demeaning would that be? He crawls his ass out. He's living like a hermit on Tatooine. Din shows up, just fucks him up, and throws him in like a wrestling throw, like over his fucking, over top of his head, like the Big Show. Just right in there, and then that thing will burp him right the fuck back up.
Oh, man. So
good stuff, Benny.
Beautiful stuff. At Benny_Productions on Instagram. Go join the legions of people who already follow him. Next up, and our last member of the top 5 for this week is another kind of newish low follow account, only 463 followers, but with a shot like this, should have much more. This is Star Wars.K Kay on Instagram, and I saw this picture and I just immediately started laughing. So what we see here is Baby Yoda standing on some rock formations. There's 3 stormtrooper heads just floating over him. I think he's using the Force to kind of juggle them. Yeah. And in the background is just a fucking fireworks show. I mean, the level of creativity and the amount of thought put into this shot by Star Wars K is absolutely incredible. And it almost looks like Baby Yoda is like the Sorcerer's Apprentice in Fantasia, where he's like throwing up these stormtrooper heads. Yeah,
all the adults are out of the room, and he's doing whatever the fuck he wants to with the Force. Like, he found himself 3 unlucky troopers, killed them, took their helmets. Now he's just playing with their heads. And just, look at him. Look at his little face. Like, he's just like, so I am the child, hear me roar, right? He's like, fuck off. Indeed. Bring it.
Dude, it's I don't know if like the fireworks in the background was just like something he decided, or he or she, I don't know if it's a male or female who is on this account, but if this is something they decided to throw in at the end, but like, this is so fucking hilarious and well executed.
It's what caught my eye. I mean, obviously, it's an interesting color palette too. I mean, the color tone is a nice mix.
Really makes it pop.
But he does. I mean, he looks like he's got like that little shit-eating grin on his face, just tossing around people's heads.
Yeah, beautiful work. At StarWars.K on Instagram. Just super funny stuff here. And then if you go give the account a follow, there's some good stuff on here as well. There's one of Boba Fett kneeling down, and there's a Force Ghost Jango talking to him. So there's a lot of fun shit on this account at starwars.kay on Instagram. And that brings us to our new segment.
All
the
right.
Top 5 is ended.
Here we go.
But we have a fan shot breakdown happening here. 2 shots from 2 different fan artists that submitted their work to be critiqued by our Matt Haywood. So Matt, take it away.
All right, so I just scrolled up the first one. Like I said, I did know the 2 artists are getting covered. So we have Fallen Apprentice at Fallen Apprentice. That's who's going to go first here. And this is a shot that I know we've featured on our page, which will bode well for you at Fallen Apprentice during this critique. Because typically if a shot makes it onto at Star Wars Time Show, it has passed my initial is this good or not test.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll start there. So, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have really a lot of negative things to say about the shot. And what we're looking at, I would say this is a shot set on Dagobah.
If you do the scroll too, if you click over the scroll, he kind of gives you a breakdown of the setup as well.
All right, perfect. So we're on Dagobah, and the main subject is R2-D2. It's the most recent one, the 40th anniversary. So he's got some, built-in weathering to him. And R2's just kind of chilling, right? He just got spit out of that big monster's mouth. He's not having a good day. But then in the background, out of focus, you can see the hobo, right? The crazy guy. The crazy little green man that shows up and literally just starts fucking with Luke and R2. He's trying to take the meat sticks. R2's fighting him. This, that, and the other thing. Yoda's beating him on the dome. So I get that. Like the Dagobah setup, pretty damn perfect. I mean, this shot feels 100% like Dagobah. There's good atmosphere. Like, I mean, you can see, I would almost think this is probably a fog machine with how thick the smoke is mixed in within the gravel of the shot. If I had one thing to kind of poke on, coming from the left side, that it might be a little too bright, but that's like, right now we're grasping at a gnat's ass. This is a pretty well formed shot. I think it's lined up well. You might be able to argue that R2 should have been a shade to the left a bit more to get him more in line with the rule of 3 on that side. But for the most part, my eye is going to the subject, which is R2, and then the secondary, which is Yoda. So I guess let me see how this shot came to be. Yeah, so you got a little digirama set up here with a practical set built in front. You got the old Dagobah tree, probably from a aquarium, even rolled in the mud. I mean, yeah, dude. I know people want me to like fucking go crazy and act like a jerk off like I do with my stuff, but it's a pretty well formed shot. It really is. I mean, the lighting is on, the atmosphere is there. There's good focus. R2's not blurry at all. I like Yoda kind of looking like a creep being blurred out in the background. And again, that fog there is a nice thick fog to really mimic the swamp floor that we got on Dagobah. The effects on R2 are good. I don't know, man. I just, like I said, I'm not going to shit on stuff just to shit. If it's a quality shot, it's a quality shot. So not much to poop on here, Fallen Apprentice. You picked a good one. Like I said, I mean, typically if I'm getting shots that I have taken the time in my mornings to feature on our at Star Wars Time Show account, it's a good shot. That's that for Fallen Apprentice. I'm sorry, my friends. I know you're probably expecting some blood and guts to be flying here, some venom to be spilling out of my face, but I have no issue with this shot. It's a good looking shot.
It is a very good looking shot. So that was the first one. So Fallen Apprentice, thank you for submitting something for us to
honestly, Fallen Apprentice, you just fucking sent too good of a shot. So find one that looks shittier and send it our way.
I think what might be happening is people are like, okay, I'm going to send them a shot that I know is fucking clean. and then they're just gonna love on it.
Oh, hold on. We had a special guest just join the stream. This is another one of my degenerate friends. I don't think I've ever talked about. I probably talked about this guy in this show before. He was he's in my Sony E3 Howard Stern friend group list there, Nick. So when I talk about those guys, this is where Mr. Harvey settles into. He thinks I'm an asshole. He thinks anyone that builds Legos is a dickhead. So go ahead and let him have it in the chat. No, he's a good guy. He runs too much. This guy runs like fucking 100 miles a day. He's insane.
Wow.
Okay, so continuing on with the shot breakdown. Thanks for joining there, Mr. Harvey. We love you. We speak your name. Can I? What the hell? Okay, yep. Sorry about that. I thought I was still going on Fallen Apprentice. All right, change gears here now. So Fallen Apprentice, they get the 2 thumbs up. Good job. Really quality shot. Again, I'm just an asswipe. So I'm not even a pro at this. Like, if you really want quality feedback, I'd ask someone like Papa or 1/6 Shooter. But to have fun, here we go. You listen to one asswipe talk about other people's shots. So coming up here, all right, we got young Liam. Now this one makes me feel a little itchy because he is young Liam.
So how much can you say about?
Yeah, I mean, I always get a little worried.
How mean do you want to get?
I always get a little worried when Liam gets brought up on the show because he's fucking 16, and I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to have his parents fucking shut down our show. Okay, so let me catch my breath here. First and foremost, Liam, you're like me, buddy. Okay? We struggle with the posing. We're kind of limited to portrait shots. I get it. I understand it. What you have going for you, young man, is that you're just 16. Okay? You have a lot of life to live, a lot of learning to be done. You've told us in our Discord you're taking some Photoshop. You're getting Hasbro boxes sent to you. So you're on the up and up. All right? He's on the up and up. And he will be 17 tomorrow, still underage. So it is what it is, buddy. So when it comes to this shot, we're looking at a portrait shot of Django. I will say it is one of Liam's better shots. But Liam, as I said, is kind of stuck in my rut where he slaps a figure down and takes a portrait of it. So over time, a bunch of portrait shots can get kind of stale looking. I will say that this is one of Liam's better portrait shots. I actually think he got a good pose here with Django. And it looks like he even added a little flare effect on the helmet, which honestly, Liam, really helps to sell the shot more so than anything else. Just that little flare. I don't know if you added that after the fact or if it was just you got lucky with the sun. But it's just like with portrait shots, and this is what I always say about myself, it's kind of plain Jane. Are you going to capture someone's eye when they're scrolling through with this shot? You did mine because I believe this is one we have featured or it is going to be featured. So again, it's not something that I can just sit here and be like, this is the biggest fucking piece of shit I've ever seen. It is still a quality portrait. It just comes down to, if you're like me and you want to push yourself, or if you want more exciting looking shots, both you and myself, we need to get better. We need to practice more at the art of posing. It's the hardest thing to do, in my opinion. I think a lot of the posts and a lot of the digital fuckery people can do with shots, that's something you can learn over time with practice. Posing, you got to have that imagination first and foremost to cook up the scene you want to execute. I don't have that. Okay. It's gone. I don't know what happened. It's dead. Blame it on beer, vape, whatever, watching too many fucking movies, watching too much porn. I don't know, but I have zero imagination. And then the next is, once you imagine that scene, can you get these little plastic cocksuckers to pose into whatever look you want them to have? All right.
So I have.
I know Liam is asking for me to shit on his shot. I'm being authentic, my friend. I am being nicer to you because you are younger. But if I thought this was a pile of shit, I would tell you it's a pile of shit. It's not a pile of shit. It's just vanilla, right?
Yeah. So here's something, and I will say that I'm going to try to not interject into these because I don't know what I'm talking about. But I do feel like with this shot, me and you talked about this a little bit last week, Matt, that you can spice up what is essentially a portrait photograph very easily by inserting something into the background. So like in this shot, we see that we're literally it's just Django and then a blurry background. But if we scroll up and we look at Fallen Apprentices again, if you remove that Yoda from the background,
yeah, it becomes a plain vanilla shot.
It's a very vanilla shot, but by the simple addition of just having Yoda in the background, again, just blurred, like you don't even need to see him in focus, but just having something else in the background to add another layer to your shot, to give it a little bit of depth, I think could help in the future. Like when you're doing, another shot like this where it is essentially just a portrait. But if you had like, okay, you have Django here, he's looking off at something in the distance, clearly in front of him. But if you had something behind him, like if you
Grievous or a Dooku in the background, just putzing around, not even, they could be looking at each other or looking at the wall, but it would, Nick is right. I mean, it would add a level of dimension to the shot. The other thing I wasn't even thinking, I don't know if you fuck around with atmosphere, aerosol, fog machines, smoke bombs, fireworks or any of that shit, but even that type of stuff can kind of juice up a background. And Nick, he is 100% right for not doing the hobby. I think he's listened to my dumbass bitch and moan enough that he's kind of learned some tips that one day if he felt like throwing up a camera and a figure, he might be able to do something. But yeah, I mean, it's portraits, they're hard to make exciting looking without some atmosphere fuckery or, as Nick said, some background work. Even if it's like lights in the background, Christmas lights to give you some bokeh, doing the rain trick, get yourself a spray bottle and make sure your light source is behind you to catch the water. Stuff like that can even make a portrait look more dynamic. So when it comes down to it, young Liam, for a portrait, it's good. Okay? It's good. I mean, do you want me to call it average? I can call it average if that's going to make you feel better. I feel like you really want me to shit on it, but I mean, you caught my eye when you tagged us with it. So as I said with Fallen Apprentice, typically that is the key to know that you at least did something right in a shot, right? Mm-hmm. If you can get past my first filter on Star Wars Time Show, you're doing something okay. I don't really just share shots to like blow smoke up people's asses. It truly is because I think it's a good looking shot. Now, with any of us portrait people, we could always make our shots look more dynamic by getting better at posing, lighting, effects, background, so on and so forth. So it just comes down to how you want to take this thing. I mean, I'm pretty much I'm giving up on doing dynamic shit. I'm just going to stick to boring portraits, whatever. Who fucking cares? I'll just try to get really creative with lighting. But I think Liam, we're going to see some growth from the young Star Wars toy photographer over the next year or two, especially now that he's getting in all this digital media stuff. He's got Hasbro PulseCon boxes. He's on people's radar. So watch out.
Yeah, no, I mean,
but hey, for next time, dude, try to do like an action shot. You're like me. You've kind of gotten in a rut where you're doing everything close perspective. Pull back, maybe do a landscape type of framing, get a few more figures in there, and let's go after that one. Because I think that's where you and myself could use some critique in setting up scenes with the posing, this, that, and the other thing.
And you see, like, I'm just on Liam's account now. So like a perfect example of really good use of background is in your Ghostbusters shot. Like if you look at,
which is a newer shot. So
yeah. So it was 7 days ago. So that is like exactly kind of what we were hitting on. Like you have the rain effect, you have the figure in the background. That's not your primary focus, but it makes what is essentially, a single focus shot more dynamic by adding in that, the hound in the background, and then you have Rick Moranis' character kind of running from it. So I think that was a perfect use of something like that. But again, like another thing that is not just a piece of advice for toy photography or for, spicing up shots It's just take a risk, do something that could fail. So like just, like Matt said, take an action shot. It's not your forte right now, but you're not going to get good at doing them if you don't do them and fail. So just, hey, set it up, put it out there. If it's not good, then you'll get feedback from the community, like people like Matt, people like, Jared and Papa and all of these other photographers in the community. They can give you feedback to say like, hey, maybe you missed the mark here, or try doing this. Like, do things, experiment a little bit and put it out there for feedback. And then that way you can learn off of it, and you're not just kind of putting yourself into a portrait box too much. So.
Yeah, hey, Liam, don't be me. Okay? Don't be me. Do something with that brain. Use it. Get creative. Get imaginative. Look at some of these other big shots and try to take some big accounts and try to take some cues from them.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's a good idea too. Like, go to somebody like Papa, or if you want to get into action shots, like go to Papa's account, scroll all the way back. Don't look at his most recent
Everyone
shit,
starts from a place of humbleness.
Yeah, like go way back on some of these huge accounts like Jared's or Papa's or 1-6 or Work More or Less, or any of the people that we talk about regularly, and see like where they started, see how they started doing, their early action shots or their early setups that have multiple figures in it. And I wouldn't say emulate it, but just like learn from that, like see what they did and say like, okay, now I can start to apply that a little bit to my, like what I want to do for my setups. There's a lot of history in some of these bigger accounts and people who've been doing it for a long time that you can look at and learn from.
So it's a time thing and just effort. I mean, I could probably, if I did it more than I do now, I could probably be getting better. I have gotten better from where I started. I mean, I started with fucking Funko Pops, dude. Like the dumbest, most basic toys that have zero articulation. So, and I'm not much beyond even that skill set, because I'm still doing basically non-articulated shots in portraits. But you gotta love this guy. This Brian Harvey guy in the chat right now. Are you reading some of the shit he's throwing out there?
Yeah,
I've been trying to ignore it just so I somewhat stay on task here. But I knew this is what would happen. This is the first time he's joined, though. I mean, at least he's finally supporting his friend of so many years after talking all this shit in our little group chat. So at least, I mean,
I have to agree that I do carry the podcast.
Nick is the hero. I'm the zero. That's how we roll here at the Star Wars Time Show. You just haven't been fucking paying attention for the past 3 to 5 to 10 years. You shitty friend. You fucking troll. Go back and run 50 miles. Quit eating bread. These are all inside jokes that mean nothing to you guys, but if Klondike was still here, we could get some great sternisms going back and forth between myself, Harvey, and Klondike, and just completely shut out the rest of the show. He'd be like, okay, we're never coming back to the Star Wars Time Show.
It's like, okay, well, that's going to take our viewers from 11 to 6.
Yeah, so anyways, all right, well, let's fucking end this stupid-ass podcast, right?
That is the end of it. That's the end of the shot breakdowns. That's the end of the top 5, and that's the end of the show.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Maddie, take us into the dance.
Let's do it, my friends. And we do have some new people here in the live stream, so let me shake it. Let me shimmy and shake. It's time for that Star Wars Time Show dance. I've been working on my singing, by the way. All right, so people, Brian Harvey in particular, this is the time of the Star Wars Time Show where you get really acclimated with the team and the site by going to StarWarsTime.net, one of the greatest, if not the least visited Star Wars fan site on the internet. We pull at least 50 views a day. So if you can handle that type of Star Wars content, I urge you to direct your browsers to StarWarsTime.net, because there you can see all of our lovely Star Wars posts. You can check out my glowing review of Star Wars Squadrons VR on the PSVR. You can see Nick's top 5 choices. But more importantly, the real reason you need to get your asses over to StarWarsTime.net is right here. The subscribe to podcast link. You just click on that link and you will be taken to any podcast platform you could ever dream of using to listen to the stupidity of the Star Wars Time Show hosts and its fan base. So again, StarWarsTime.net. Subscribe to podcasts. If podcasts aren't your thing, we also do the YouTube. You can also get to YouTube from, guess what? StarWarsTime.net. We got a nice little subscribe button. You don't even have to think. You just click on it and you will become a Star Wars Time Show fan. Just like that. And now that you're a fan, this is what you need to do. Because again, we are not in charge of this show growing. We are not in charge of making a good show. It is up to you motherfuckers, you lazy assholes, to get out there and tell other people how dumb this show is so they'll at least have the curiosity to come check it out. Because once they do that, then they're going to start rating it more. They're going to start liking our videos more. They're going to be commenting more, which is going to appease the search engine gods and make us legends. And that is what we want. But we can't do it without you because it is not about the content. It is about other people talking about said content. Okay? We're never going to do anything special. We're never going to do anything that entertaining. That's why we need your help. Some of you have sat here for 3 fucking hours listening to this dumb shit. I don't know why. So it must do something for somebody. So find more of those bodies for your bros over at the Star Wars Time Show. And why is that, Nick? Well, that's because there's always time for Star Wars Time. Say it with me in your heads, people. There is always time for Star Wars Time. And besides, if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you always.